This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska.
And welcome to the Capital City High School football on a Friday night here on News Channel Nebraska. This top 10 matchup between Grand Island and Lincoln High brought to you by Anderson Ford, Lincoln Kia of Grand Island. See their huge selection of new and used cars and trucks, proudly serving the GI Hastings and Kearney areas. Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen with you. Thank you so much for joining us. It is week 2 of the high school football season, and we have another great Class A matchup. Number 8 Grand Island traveling down to Lincoln to take on number 7 Lincoln High.
Top 10 matchup going in. Both offenses very potent, love to air it out. I'll tell you what, Brandon, they have sneaky good rushing attacks too. We're in for a good one here.
Those following the Islanders know that they came up with a huge win in week 1, 46-0 over then number 4 Kearney to open this season. And Andy, we talked about it during our broadcast last week. It wasn't so surprising necessarily that Grand Island got the victory, but it was in the manner of which they did it. A running clock in Class A, a running clock against Kearney. That is a program that has never been in that position before, and the Islanders, you better believe, are riding high after that one.
Well, and don't forget, Kearney was ranked 4th, preseason 4th overall in the state, and nobody saw a 46-0 shutout coming. Grand Island's feeling pretty good about what they're doing. All the hard work they put in the offseason really paid off and showed itself there in week 1. Now they want to carry that momentum here into week 2. Tough road opponent, though, in Lincoln High.
This is Lincoln High's home opener. Now, they were number 8 in week 1. They lost, and they've jumped up a spot, and that's because of the great performance they put in. They went up to Omaha and took on number 5 Bellevue West. They were trailing, Andy, by 16 with less than 7 minutes to go. They rallied, forced double overtime, ultimately fell short 49-43 in what was a 3.5-hour game. It was a game that saw nearly 1,000 yards of total offense, and this may be indicative of what we're going to see tonight because this offense for the Lynx is high octane.
Well, I was really happy to see the voters went that direction. Usually you lose a game, you drop a game, you just drop in the rankings. They actually saw the attitude and the fight and what Lincoln High was playing with there. And you're really seeing the development of their mindset. A couple years ago, they would have got down 16 and it would have snowballed. They would have lost by 20 or 30. They fought back, forced it into double overtime, and they were just a couple plays away from knocking off Bellevue West. Like I said, their offense is very potent. They're going to put some major points up on the board here. I can't wait to see it.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to continue with our pregame show when we return. But Anderson Ford making this broadcast possible. Lincoln High taking on Grand Island. We'll be back shortly on News Channel Nebraska. And welcome back here to Beechner Athletic Complex's Fife Field. Pregame brought to you by Cornhusker Toyota. The pregame is driven by Cornhusker Toyota Honda, Nebraska's only dual Toyota Honda dealer. There's no need to drive to Lincoln or Omaha when shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle. Just visit them in Grand Island. Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen here. We're continuing to anticipate this matchup of top 10 opponents. We're going to take a look at some key players. First off, for Grand Island, a player that I'm going to highlight, and it really speaks about a group that we should highlight for the Islanders, is Ace McInnes, and specifically the secondary for the Islanders. McInnes had a huge game against Kearney, 2 picks, and what was his first varsity start. He was very impressive, and he's going to have to be on his A game. Everybody in the secondary is going to be greatly tested tonight, and he's going to have a big game as well as that unit.
Right, and he really did stand out amongst a lot of star performers there on that 46-0 shutout that he helped pitch against Kearney. A good offense in Kearney as well. And whenever they were trying to make something happen, he came up with a couple big plays, some takeaways that just shut it down and got the offense back on the field. Complete team game, and you mentioned it. There's a lot of question marks about the secondary. They lost a lot of seniors last year out of a good secondary. Ace came right back, him and his bunch. I mean, they just picked up where they left off. Very solid group.
Now, this player is no secret to Lincoln High fans and a lot of football fans across the state. Cedric Case, quarterback gunslinger for the Lynx. He was a first-team All-State as a junior. Threw for over 3,200 yards last year, 35 TDs. And, Andy, you really can hope to contain him. He's going to play in North Dakota next year. But the big key thing, talking to Coach Mackey, He threw 2 INTs last week in that Bellevue West loss, which is literally half of his total of all of last year. He's a player that doesn't make mistakes. Coach Mackey is not expecting him to do that again tonight. And he almost threw for 500 yards in week 1 as a senior quarterback.
Right. Sometimes in the style of offense you play, you're going to rack up some of these numbers, especially in the high school ball. But what really separated Cedric from other quarterbacks was his decision making. Only throwing 4 picks last year, already threw 2 this year. Now that's a little misleading. They aired it out a lot. He had 467 yards last week and 2 touchdowns, and it also went into double overtime. So there's a lot more opportunities there, but still, they want to cut back on turnovers, and if they take care of the ball, if Cedric can limit the mistakes, they feel pretty good about their chances here tonight.
And a big reason why Cedric Case can pile up all of those yards, he has a terrific group of receivers. And you'll talk about the history of this Lincoln High team. Now, before 2004, Lincoln High had not made the playoffs since that point until this group that are now seniors came to Lincoln High. Now, as sophomores, they made the first round of the playoffs, lost. As juniors, same thing, although it was a close game. You now have about a group of 10 seniors led by Case and a lot of other players that have now played with each other for 3 years. They have chemistry unlike any other team in the state, and they really just know how to play with one another, and that is why they're so effective. Lincoln High is expecting a lot of things, not only in this game, but in this year as a total with this group of players.
When we touched on it earlier in the pregame, that's the mindset, the confidence you're seeing to build here for Lincoln High, and it's a group that's played a lot together. I mean, getting 467 yards last week through the air, you got to spread the ball around. You had, I believe, 3 guys over 80 yards, 1 guy over 180 yards. So Cedric does a really good job of moving the ball around. You get that out of continuity, and these guys have played together for a long time. You mentioned that, and they're gonna put some points up on the board tonight. I love how you picked Ace versus Case. That's the matchup to watch here tonight.
Stands are getting packed here at Beechner Athletic Complex. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more pregame show coming up on NCN. Welcome back here to Beechner Athletic Complex. Brandon Axmit, Andy Klassen with you. We are getting closer and closer to kickoff. Again, this pregame is driven by Cornhusker Toyota Honda, Nebraska's only dual Toyota Honda dealer. Well, earlier I had a chance to talk to both head coaches. First off, Jeff Tomlin gave his thoughts after coming off that big Kearney win last Friday. All right, Coach. Well, second-ranked team in as many weeks. You're coming off that big victory over Kearney. Your thoughts, feelings, and how the players doing getting ready for this first road test of the season?
Well, it's a very big task. Lincoln High's an excellent football team and extremely well coached, and they've got a lot of weapons. So we've been hard at work all week, just trying to prepare for Lincoln High, and I think overall it's been a good week of practice.
No secret the Lynx like to air the ball out, but specifically, how does this differ from what you saw against Kearney and what you expect to see tonight?
Yeah, a lot better, a lot more speed. I think they're more balanced than people give them credit for. They do a heck of a job running the trap and running the sweep, running the jet sweep. Their offensive line is diverse. They can pass pro, they can run block. And obviously Cedric Case is a great leader for them on the offensive side of the ball. And I think defensively they're very aggressive, and they give you some problems pass protection-wise just because they can bring pressure from a lot of different angles. So we definitely have our work cut out for us tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, lastly, when you go into the locker room before you come back out on the field with your players, what's the final message you give them?
Just the big thing is it's going to be a kind of a heavyweight bout here. Just respond. There are going to be good things that happen. Respond to them, appropriately. They're going to be adversity that strikes. Keep responding and just keep competing, and good things will happen.
All right, Coach, we're looking forward to a good one. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And shortly after that, Coach Mark Mackey for Lincoln High gave me his thoughts coming off that dramatic defeat to Bellevue West. All right, Coach Mackey, well, you're coming off that big dramatic loss against Bellevue West, a game, though, where you said you saw a lot of good things, specifically a 16-point rally against a very good team. So as you practice this week and as you get ready for Grand Island, what's been the focus?
Well, see how we would bounce back, and I guess that still remains to be seen. But we wanted our kids to be physical this week, and I felt like we were, so I think we'll be okay that way in that aspect.
And you speak of physical. When I talked to you earlier this week, you said that's something that Grand Island always seems to be for their program. So how do you plan to combat that? Because you have a lot of speed and athleticism.
Yeah, we just feel like if we can match intensity and effort, we got a heck of a shot here, and it can be a very competitive game. But GI teams have always been physical. They're always well coached, and we got to be able to match it.
In terms of 2 keys, if you said you had to absolutely do to come out here with a victory, what are they?
The first key is we have to tackle better. I didn't feel like we tackled very well last week, and then we got to take care of the ball. We had 3 turnovers. Bell West didn't have any, so we need to make sure that we win that battle and just play our football, and I think we'll be fine.
Coach, good luck tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, you heard it, Andy. Coaches are ready to go. Players are ready to go. The fans here also ready to go. So are we. We'll take one more quick break as number 8 Grand Island is taking on number 7 Lincoln High. The Lynx about to break out of the fence here. And Andy, let's stay here. We need to see this. How you feeling, though? We're getting closer to kickoff.
See if they got that Miami smoke. They're talking about how their mascot's the Lynx down at Miami. That potent defense has the turnover chain. I wonder if we're going to be seeing some of that here tonight as well.
Back in black playing. That's applicable to the situation here. The Lynx in black, Grand Island, of course, in white and purple. It's a little bit hot, though. The black might not do them a whole lot of help in the cooling department.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think you can just feel the confidence that they had coming off onto the field there. They really were strutting their stuff, walking, taking their time, pacing, then got a little trot once they got to the field. I think that's just a lot of real confidence. You know, they're not trying to put on a show. They're here to win a football game.
Top 10 clash when we return. Kickoff just around the corner. All right, we're getting ready to go. Kickoff, Lynx will receive. It's time to take a look at our 5 points of impact, brought to you by 5 Points Bank. Proud to support area coaches and athletes. 5 Points Bank, the better bank. And the first one is wrap up for Lincoln High. You heard it from Coach Mackey. Said his players did not tackle well, and that was something that he wants to improve on if they want to get a victory. And for number 2 for your points of impact for Lincoln High. Limit the turnovers. You heard it there. They lost the turnover battle 3-0 against Bellevue West. Still played competitive. Turnovers always a big aspect. Now point of impact number 3 for Grand Island, the secondary. They're going to be tested against Cedric Case and this high-powered offense. Going to have to be on their toes for the Islanders. Point number 4. Shore up those special teams, Andy. We saw where there was some good return game on the special teams, but the PATs hurt Grand Island a couple times in a close game. You never want to give up easy points and pass up making those points. And number 5, winning for the field position is always important for either team in a football game, and that's going to be indicative of who comes out of here with a successful result.
It's come to play here with the opening kickoff going out of bounds. Slight edge in the special teams department thus far.
First snap, and it's going to the air. Case on that swing pass, and you see just how easy it is for this offense. That's Darius Luff with the catch, and a nice pickup for the Lynx. Looks like they'll give him 9.
That was a real nice pickup, as you said, Brandon, but a lot went into that play. Fake handoff, read the zone read perfect, hit him for a quick hitter to the outside to the top of your screen there. Well put together, well designed play.
2nd and 1, ball on the 44. Case again on the play action, and that one unable to be hauled in by Jones. Uncharacteristic as he led the Lynx against Bellevue West with 155 yards.
Yeah, CJ would like to have that one back. And Cedric Case has done a real good job, only 2 plays into the game, but mixing it up. He looked off the receiver, the DBs the first time and went outside. That time he did the opposite, went right up the seam, pitched a strike. CJ Jones could have caught that ball.
A couple of late subs coming on defensively for Grand Island, and Coach Tomlin forced to take a timeout because of it. Like to remind you, our first quarter sponsor is brought to you by Midwest Bank, where they are doing the little things to make a big difference in your community. Log on to MidwestBank.com today.
And you already seen some of the pressure that this high-octane offense for the Lynx puts on a defense. They want to get the right player personnel in the backfield there, for the defensive backs. didn't have time to do so. Lynx were ready. They were up at the line. They're ready to snap the ball. Grand Island forced to call an early timeout.
So big 3rd and 1 upcoming, just 9 seconds in.
Yeah, and I agree with the timeout. It's 3rd and short. You want to get off the field, give your defense some confidence, get the right play call in.
Case under center, can't get the Islanders to bite on the hard count. And it's going to be a sneak, and there's a good push up front by GI. And this will all depend on the spot.
The line judge, Josh Smith, is all over it. He came running up there. It's all going to depend on his spot. Referee Todd Kerr, umpire Mike Davis, linesman Alex Johnson, Josh Smith, your line judge, and your back judge, Brian Primbo.
No gain, so 4th and 1. And Lynx looking.
They're betting on their offense can pick up this half yard here. Kind of gambling early on.
Well, and it's a snap to the up back and a punt. And that's a tough break for Lincoln High. That's maybe a net punt of about 15 yards.
I don't mind the play call there. I thought it was a little too early to gamble like that. You're on your side of the field. Go ahead and punt the ball. Live to play another down. A lot of ball left to be played. I do like how they kind of mixed it up there, but they did want to have a little bit better result as far as the net punt.
So 1st and 10 here. The Islanders will start on their own 34. Defense coming up big for the Islanders on the Lynx opening possession. Evans drops straight back and airing it out. He has his receiver in just off the fingertips of Grand Island's Ben Riley.
Not a bad play to open things up there. Ben Riley kind of hesitated, jumped up a little late there. I think if he would have kept running full pace and just trust that he could got it underneath that ball, he might have been able to get another hand on it. I like the play call, though. That loosens up the defense.
2nd and 10. Twins to the near side. Brock Douglas wide. Evans rolling out. Decides to cut it up. And we have a flag in the backfield. This one may be coming back.
Oh, that's a shame because that was such a nice run there by Cole Evans. Faking outside, getting the defense to sway just enough and then cutting it upfield. But yeah, it looks like it's a hold, and the Islanders are moving back.
And this is a Lincoln High defense that has spent this week emphasizing wrapping up and being more physical and attempting to match the physicality of what they expect to see against the Islanders. Again, you have a lot of big boys up front, 3 returning starters on this offensive line for GI. They know how to pave the way.
They really do, and it really suits them, this run-pass option, this zone read offense that Cole Evans gets to be the quarterback of. These offensive linemen fit that mold to a T.
2nd and 23 after the holding penalty. Evans going back to the air. And there's a pickup of nearly a first down. Nice pass and catch, John Riley.
We're talking about the play design for Lincoln High on that first drive. That was an immaculate play design. Got the defense going deep. You also got some guys coming up into the backfield. Cole Evans with the wherewithal to hit that middle route there by design. And then he had some blockers out in front there. Big gain for the Islanders.
Pickup of 24, and that moves the sticks. Now Riley on the ground. There's a hard hit tackle, and nice job flying in Cam Kleinschmidt. Now he's a transfer from Sutton that this coaching staff's been really high on having on the team.
Oh, yeah. And I like how Jeff Tomlin, head coach of the Grand Island Islanders, I like how he stays with the hot hand. John Riley with a real nice reception, went right back to him in the zone read, handoff. Another nice gain on first down.
Of course, Riley found the end zone a couple times against Kearney. Option keeper, screen pass to Brock Douglas, who made some plays against the Bearcats as well.
And there's
He's
the wrapping up.
contained there.
Sorry there, Brandon. There's what Coach Mackey was talking about. When you get your hands on a guy, you got to bring him down. At least stop his forward progress and let the progression of the defense come and help you out. You got to wrap up there. Douglas breaking 2 tackles before he was brought down.
Ended up gaining 2 total yards. 3rd and 4. Again to the air, and there's Douglas on the out. He hauls it in at the 40-yard line, and that'll move the sticks.
Douglas picking up where he left off last week. That was a difficult play to execute. Had to get 1 foot down there, know where the sticks were at to pick up the first. A lot of things going on. Brock making it look easy.
Pickup of 12. The Islanders now in Lincoln High territory. Riley up the middle. He has a seam. Douglas is blocking downfield. Riley inside the 10, and the Islanders are threatening here in the first quarter.
Ben Riley's seeing the field so well right now. Or John Riley, I'm sorry about that. John Riley seeing the field so well right now. Found the crease, hit the top gear real quick. Love how he gets north and south.
Pickup of 35. 1st and goal from the 6. Evans will keep it. Good second effort, but nothing doing.
The Islanders continuing on offense to get these big chunk yardage plays. You know, I know that's how this offense is kind of set up to be able to spring one here and there, but man, this opening drive and what we saw last week, man, they're getting some big plays in bunches here this season.
2nd and goal from the 4. Riley can't find his seam. The Lynx plugging that hole up the middle.
Yeah, now I think you're seeing some really good adjustments from Lincoln High, bringing in an extra linebacker, maybe another lineman down there, getting 4 down linemen, shutting down that off-tackle run.
3rd and goal now from the 5. That was a loss of 1. Trips to the far side. Lynx showing blitz. Evans to Douglas, and he holds it in. And the Islanders strike first.
That is not an easy play to execute, Brandon, but the Islanders make it look easy. Cole Evans to Douglas, quick out route for the 6.
This replay brought to you by Great Western Bank. They're in Grand Island, Kearney, Hastings, Holdridge, and Broken Bow. Hometown bankers empowered to make fast decisions so you can be greater with Great Western Bank.
Wow.
The extra point is good.
Everything going Grand Island's way right there. Fumbled snap that you're still able to get the ball up and through the uprights.
3+ minute drive. Grand Island goes right down the field and scores 7-0. We have 8:01 left. We'll be back. And welcome back. We're just about to do kickoff. A little bit of a wind, so ball blows over. We'll give it another try. But Grand Island takes their opening drive 60+ yards. It's capped off by a Cole Evans pass to Brock Douglas.
That's what you call a statement drive to open up the game. Grand Island doing a real good job mixing it up with the run and pass. Cole Evans distributing the ball very well.
It's been fielded near the 10. And there's a decent return. Lynx will start at around their 30.
And you know this Lincoln High offense felt like they left a couple of plays out on the field that last drive. They're eager to get back out here for the answer.
Come on, defense!
I'd like to remind you this broadcast made possible by Central Nebraska Orthopedics. As we are here in the first quarter, Brandon Axmit and Andy Klassen with you. From advanced surgical techniques to sports medicine expertise, Central Nebraska Orthopedics is dedicated to the motion of life. As Case just falls on that one.
Smart play from Cedric Case. Sometimes you just have to eat it, not try and make something happen when it's not there. High snap, did a good job getting a hand on it. The athleticism showcased right there. And then the smarts with just falling on the ball, not getting yourself into bigger trouble. We talked about that in the pregame, Brandon. Limit your mistakes.
loss of 6 here on 2nd down. Case on that seam yet again, and it's a connection. Close to a 1st down. Jaden Horton reeling that one in.
Horton doing a good job getting up the seam there, getting his hands out in front of him, not letting the ball get into his pads, catching it with his hands, and then, Case hitting him right in stride for the nice gain.
Pickup of 17. 1st down for the Lynx, their first of the ball game. You have Perry motioning across, running it back the other way with Alford. Now again, we talk so much about this pass attack, but Coach Mackey says don't sleep on Alford. He had 20 carries last game, state champion wrestler. He is a pure athlete that will run people over.
A lot of athletes out on the field there for the Lynx. This Islander defense is going to have to stay on their toes throughout this entire game. Jack Weemhoff, excellent job staying on the back side there, keeping contained, coming up, making the hit. Nice open field tackle for number 44.
Alford coming off a 66-yard performance against Bellevue West. Another pass up the seam. This time, Perry unable to haul it in. But the Lynx certainly have something they're trying to do here. Either they feel there's a little bit of gaps in this Islander defense, but we've seen that now 3 or 4 times.
Right, they want to work their seams. They want to hit those skinny posts there, really put this new secondary, this younger secondary for the Islanders to the test. You saw Caleb Fransel making a real nice play on the ball on that occasion.
Third and 9. There it is again, but this time it's batted down. Sam Sims getting his big paw on it.
And that's what Sims has to do in those passing situations. He can't get lost in no man's land. That time he did a real good job reading the quarterback, getting his hands up in the air, knocking the ball down. Because I think that post was there. That skinny post was there.
Come on, get in there.
Lynx are going to be forced to punt for the 2nd time.
Yeah, tip your cap to the Islander defense thus far. Answering the bell.
Douglas back to return. He had a couple big returns against Kearney. Lets this one bounce. And could have a turnover situation. Waiting for the official signal.
I think the Lynx did jump on it there. Thought Douglas fumbled it as he tried to go back and pick it back up. I believe the Lynx got on it.
And you can see what Douglas was trying to do. You always talk about it. You don't want to allow the special teams to pick up those extra yards with a ball rolling. That was a tough spot where he couldn't quite haul it in, and you saw what happened.
Well, I kind of harped on it on the first play of the Lynx last drive, how Cedric Case just jumped on the ball. He didn't make situation worse. Douglas doing the opposite of that, trying to scoop it up and make something out of it. Sometimes you just got to eat it.
So now an extremely short field. The Lynx starting on the 21. Alford hit pretty hard. We have a flag. And judging by where that came in, the official might say there was a helmet-to-helmet contact.
We heard some pads popping on that one. That could have been some helmet-to-helmet. And I always think that's a tough call, Brandon. I mean, the running back lowered his head. He's running into you. As a defender, you're just supposed to go straight up and not lean into it. Let him kind of truck you over. I'm kind of lost in these new rules here with this helmet-to-helmet contact. I'm all for player safety, but I'd like a lot more clarification to these new rules.
And that is confirmed what the call was, personal foul for leading with the head. So that puts Lincoln High now on the 10, 1st and goal to go. Alford trying to cut it up. And brought down inside the 5.
You're still seeing a good pursuit to the football from this Islander defense as the Lynx are trying to stay true to that running game. They want to keep running the ball to keep the defense honest.
2nd and goal, ball on the 4. Lynx trying to even things back up here. Alford again tackled from behind.
Direction there wasn't fooling the Islanders at all.
Ransel coming from behind and no gain. So here's a big 3rd down and 4. Goal line to go.
And you saw Lincoln High. They wanted to make a statement. They wanted to pound the ball. They wanted to run the ball inside the 10-yard line here in the red zone. They might revert back to the pass here, try to get into the end zone.
Case in the gun. You have Perry motioning across. You have pressure coming from that Islander line, and Case throws to the corner. And touchdown, Lynx.
Wow. Who was that on the outside there? Did an excellent job getting 1 foot down into the end zone, knowing where the line was. About the presence of the quarterback there, not getting flustered. Case doing a good job, keeping his cool, finding some time, working his way to the outside, finding his man.
Jaden Horton, full extension, the 6'2" senior receiver on the out route. And like you said, that was a great job by Case extending the play, allowing the route to develop. Extra point. Up and good. We have ourselves a tie ball game.
Took a little bit of help, but the Lynx delivered the answer, getting on the board there. Big defensive penalty there for the Islanders with the helmet-to-helmet, extended the drive.
4:37 left to go in the first. We'll be back on News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back here to Beechner Athletic Complex's Fife Field. Tie ball game between these top 10 opponents. Grand Island struck first. We're feeling really good after they forced a second punt by the Lynx. But there was a muffed punt, and the Lincoln High team took advantage, starting on the Islanders' 21, and then capping off the short drive. Case connecting with Horton for the 4-yard score.
Right, you've really seen 3 mishaps on special teams from the Islanders already. A fumbled PAT snap, kickoff out of bounds, and then a short kick to follow the first one up. And we talked about how special teams would play such a pivotal role. Lynx on the better end thus far.
And you saw that little short, shallow kick that you sometimes see teams do where you don't get it back to the receiver and you try to have an up back return it, and you never know what could happen. Right there, the Islanders dealt with it. They'll start on their own 26.
Well, exactly. It puts a guy that's not used to catching the ball in a difficult position with the defenders all around him. Plenty of time for the cover team to get down there. And then, Coach Tomlin was talking about this in the pregame. There's going to be some adversity. Okay, you had a call not go your way, that pass drive. The Lynx took full advantage, got one in the end zone. How are you going to respond? How are the Islanders going to respond to this adversity?
GI will start on their own 29. Riley on the swing pass. And he'll get a little bit now. Ball popped out. Officials are saying the runner was down.
We really got to give some credit to Sykes there. The 5'10 senior, 180-pounder, real nice block on the outside that really sprung his man to get forward.
Second and 9. And Evans hits Douglas on the slant. And he is really having a great start to his junior year and his first real campaign as a starter.
And I always like to see that when the coaching staff, for whatever team, when you have a guy make a mistake, he's feeling bad about it, and you go right back to him, build his confidence, let him know that, hey, you're still our guy. We're going to need you down the stretch.
Pickup of 10 on the pass to Douglas. Not much doing for Riley there. Well, this second quarter will be brought to you by the Buffett Institute. They are a community or business leader who cares about child care or early learning. If so, check out the event in Kearney on September 7th with the Buffett Institute. Register today. Cole Evans on the option, cuts it up, and gets near midfield. And that's enough for a first down.
And that's the decision making that I'm always talking about with Evans. It seems he always makes the correct read. This type of offense demands a lot from your quarterback. You need a smart guy there behind center, making those quick decisions. Evans cutting it upfield at the right time.
Actually, they're going to mark him just short, so 3rd and 1 here, ball on the 49. Space on the outside. This will be enough for a first down. Caleb Francel picking it up.
For Ansel, with a little bit of wiggle there, did a good job dipping his head, his pads down, got the defense to just bite on it just enough so he could get to the outside, pick up a big first down for Grand Island.
Gain of 11. They go right back to Francel. And he picks up 5 more.
You know, we talked about the team speed and all the athletes for Lincoln High, and deservedly so. They got some studs over there on the sideline. But GI, they got some sneaky team speed as well. You got to contain them, otherwise they're going to get that 8, 9, 10, 11 yards on you before you know it.
2nd and 6. Francel's 3rd carry, and he busts it for a big one. The Islanders are inside the red zone.
There's that sneaky speed I'm talking about. Before you know it, he's up the field 15 yards on you. And Coach Mackey's got to be shaking his head. He's stressed, wrapping up all week long in practice, and you're seeing these arm tackles from the Lynx once again early on here.
Pickup of 17 for Francel. Sykes motions across. Play action. Evans gets around the corner, lowers his shoulder. Knocked out of play by Garrett Hoagland.
Evans doing a good job with his elusiveness once again, getting some heavy pressure there from the defense. Marcel Austin, I thought, was going to get him for the sack. Evans, with the wherewithal, was able to curl around and get a nice little gain out of it.
Pickup of 6. We're under 2 minutes to go here. Grand Island threatening. Francel again keeps those legs turning. Excuse me, that's Sykes, his first carry. Kleinschmidt on the tackle. Pickup of 7. 1st and goal to go from the 6.
Really like how this GI offense, they do such a good job of working the outside and trying to get the corner, but they don't forget about the middle of the field. They really work the seams, especially with their running backs and their running quarterback. It forces a defense to stay honest and cover the entire field. Nothing easy when you're trying to defend the Islanders.
Evans hands this one off, and it's a touchdown. Caleb Francel from 6 yards out, and the Islanders regain the lead.
Francel, that was a Francel show on that drive. Nice to see the young man get paid off at the end zone there. Once he saw that goal line, you saw him lower his shoulders, and he was not going to be denied. When I talked about at the beginning of the drive, how is GI going to respond? You know, you had a call go against you. You saw a real nice drive put together by the Lynx. I would say they responded just fine.
Extra point up and good. 14-7, Islanders back on top. 1:17 left to go in the first. .117 to play. 3 touchdowns have been scored so far. We anticipated this could be a high-scoring game, and we've had some good offensive displays so far.
4 offensive possessions, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I would say we're right on par here.
Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen with you. As the sun is going down and turning into quite a nice evening. We had showers here early afternoon, then it got really, really hot. And now, it's funny how that works. Sun goes down and it cools off a little bit, but we have a nice breeze as well. Great football atmosphere.
It really does. You can tell fall is in the air, and this is just a football atmosphere. Very exciting time, especially if you're a Nebraskan It just seems if you grew up in Nebraska, you love football, and the time is finally here.
2 top 10 teams going at it. Grand Island, number 8. Lincoln High, number 7. And the Lynx got on the board after a short field. Cedric Case hit Jaden Horton for the touchdown. The one thing that you want to hang your hat on if you're Grand Island, have you not been giving up that short field, you can play in great defense. In fact, those are the first points Grand Island's given up this season.
Right. If you had to point to something for GI that hasn't been going their way, it's been their kicking game, whether it's kickoffs or field goal or point after touchdown attempts.
And nothing doing. Morgan Perry stood up. That was Kyle Sextro and company getting in on that tackle.
Wow, I think Morgan Perry thought the official there was going to blow the whistle as he stopped his forward progression, but he just let that one play out. Then you saw a couple more Islanders get into the action there, poured on, drive the man back, and that's what you got to do. You got to play through the whistle. But we're talking about the kicking game. That was kind of a line drive. I don't know if that was by design or not. It ended up working out for the Islanders, but not a prototypical kickoff.
The Lynx start on their own at 19. Trips to the near side. Handoff up the middle. Not too much there. You had Alex Rodriguez and friends making the tackle on that front line.
No, but they were able to pick up a couple of yards there. It keeps them right on pace for what this offense wants to do. They're not behind the sticks. They're at a second and long, second and medium. They're just right on schedule with what they're trying to do here.
There's the jet sweep. Tackle from behind by Sims. Another short pickup. That time it was Jadis Ellis.
Ellis did a nice job, though, of taking what he could get. As soon as he saw that seam, he stuck his foot in the ground, got upfield. Now we got a nice 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 here.
10 seconds left. We'll still have a snap. Final play of the quarter. Case has a wide open receiver and a big pickup. That's just broken coverage. Jaden Horton getting free.
Lucky it didn't go for more there. Excellent fake there out of Cedric. A big 3rd down pickup there as the first quarter comes to an end.
So that'll do it for the first quarter of play. Grand Island leads 14-7. We'll be back with second quarter action on News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back here to Beechner Athletic Complex's Pfeiffer Field. Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen with you this second quarter, brought to you by the Buffett Institute. Are you a community or business leader who cares about child care and early learning? This event is for you. Check it out in Kearney on September 17th. Register today.
All right, and the Grand Island offense really picking up right where they left off last week. Really good tempo, really good balance. Already on the board twice here, taking a 14-7 lead. Winning that first quarter.
Big pickup for the Lynx. Horton picking up 15 on that last play of the quarter. 1st and 10 now from the 38. Case with plenty of time. Drops it right in there, just unable to be hauled in by Perry.
Morgan Perry's had a couple of those early on here where it looked like he might have been looking upfield, looking to pick up some yards after catch. But you know, Brandon, you got to make the catch before you can get those yards after catch.
That's the second or third drop we've seen, and uncharacteristic from this athletic receiving corps. 2nd and 10. Play action. And there's the little curl route. Short pickup for the Lynx.
Darius doing a real nice job of going down and getting his hands on the ball there. Short pickup, but it was a pickup nevertheless.
Pickup of 5. Another play action. There's that seam, and this time it's hauled in by Perry.
And that's what you want to see from Perry, coming back with a really difficult catch there in traffic, double coverage. But you saw his helmet didn't leave the ball at all. He watched that all the way into his hands, secured it through the tackle, all the way to the ground. Nice catch for the young man. Nice bounce back play.
14-yard pickup. The Lynx are in Islander territory. And Case just forced to throw that one away. And if you saw what happened there, Sam Sims did not allow Reed Chul to run that little shallow crossing.
He cracked him pretty good there, taking away that little outlet pass there for Case. And Case doing a great job. Once again, the decision making, not forcing a ball in there, not putting one up there that could get picked off, just doing the smart thing, first down, throw it away, live to play another down.
4 wide here for the Lynx. Islanders pressuring from the outside. Run busted up the middle. First down and then some for Lincoln High. Alford tackled near the 25-yard line. Big pickup.
And we all know about the speed Alford brings to the table, but he was running with some power there, getting through a couple tackles there, breaking one right at midfield. Picked up another 8 or 9 yards after that initial broke tackle.
Biggest tote of the night so far, 18 yards. The Lynx are now on the 25. Going right back to him. Alford lowers the shoulder. Tackled at the 21, a pickup of 4.
Nice little trap play there, picking up 4 yards on first down. Once again, keeping the offense on schedule. Your playbook's wide open when you're sitting at a 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5 like they are.
Nice drive to start the quarter so far for Lincoln High. Quick pass on the out route. We have a big hit by Kojo Atikpahu. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen him lay the wood. Still a first down, though, for Lincoln High, so they'll take it.
Gonna say it. Nice hit at the end of the play there, but nice pickup. Caleb Miller getting his hands on the ball there. And we had a real good look at that. That was right in front of us. Cedric Case through a lot of traffic there, delivered a strike to the outside.
Come on, D-Box!
Ball on the 15, fresh set of downs. Play action wasn't fooling the Islanders. And there's the intentional grounding play.
Yeah, I was looking around there. I think Case thought his running back was going to stay in and help block for a release valve there, trying to just throw the ball away. But no, the officials made the correct call. That was intentional grounding. Inside the pocket, and there was not a receiver within 5 yards. And you really do got to credit the defensive line for Grand Island applying this pressure throughout the first and into the second quarter here.
That marches the Lynx all the way back to the 30. Second and 25.
This is where that defensive backfield's really going to be tested for GI.
Perry motions across, more play action. Falling on his back foot, and it's hauled in. Jaden Horton.
Horton is having himself a game there, high pointing the ball, getting his fingertips on it and pulling it down in some traffic there. I'll tell you what, these Lynx, they have some athletes everywhere at every position.
Pickup of 13. And that was a play that looked doomed for the Lynx from the start. Case throwing from his back foot. But he has that chemistry with Horton, who was able to haul it in for his 4th reception.
Oh, I was thinking a tip pick.
Well, we have a screen pass here. There was a flag pre-snap. Alford still going, still on his feet. He's going to take this into the end zone. The question is, will it count?
Big penalty. I don't know if the Lynx were set or not, but you're seeing the power once again for Alford. And it was illegal procedure for the Lynx.
Tough break for Lincoln High.
Oh. And they already had the grounding penalty earlier in this drive. Really put them behind the sticks. 2nd and long, 2nd and 20. Now they're right back at it here with another 3rd and long, 3rd and 17 here.
Marches him back to the 22.
Oh, this is 3rd. Not a loss of down penalty.
Timeout. Grand Island here with 8:43. We'll take a quick break. 3rd and 17 coming up for the Lynx. So a big 3rd and 17 facing the Lynx. They thought they had a touchdown. Illegal procedure was the call. And marches him back to the 22-yard line. They're looking to tie this thing up.
Well, both coaching staffs talked about it in the pregame. How are you going to deal with adversity? How are you going to respond? Something didn't go GI's way earlier in the first quarter. I would have to say they responded very well. You had a couple calls go against you, a touchdown called back for you if you're Lincoln High. How are you going to respond?
And the Islanders took the timeout prior to the snap. Pressure from the outside from Sims. And Case just forced to throw that one away.
Sims doing a real good job blitzing off the corner there from his outside linebacker position, forcing Cedric Case to kind of deliver that ball before he wanted to.
So you're kind of in that no man's land in high school. Looks like the Lynx might be planning to attempt a field goal here. And this will be a 39-yarder. Christopher Izaguirre gonna give this one a go.
160-pound senior for Lynx. You got to believe he's got the leg.
And it's low. And that's a no-go for Lincoln High.
Just didn't look like they had any timing there on that one. I don't know if Christopher was if the kicker was actually ready for that snap.
So nothing to show for a 3+ minute drive to start the quarter. Here for the Lynx, Grand Island takes over on the 20.
Let's be honest, huge break there for the Islanders because the Lynx did score a touchdown on that drive. It was really a illegal procedure call from the other side of the field that actually called that one, brought that touchdown back, took it off the scoreboard. Huge break for GI.
Nowhere to go for Riley. It's a big tackle in the backfield by Lincoln High. And it's Reese Mentor making the play.
Mentor, big man, defensive lineman getting in the backfield, and you said it, laying the wood.
Loss of 2. Evans rolling out, looking for Douglas. We do have a flag back in near midfield. And the Lynx are signaling that it's against the Islanders.
Isaiah Alford's letting everyone know, yeah, take that one back. I think I got held up a little bit on that one. Give us 10. That's really a difficult play. I don't care if you're Cole Evans or who you are. Rolling to your left, throwing with your right arm across your body. That's a very difficult play for anybody.
That pushes Grand Island all the way back to the 13-yard line, 2nd and 17. Lynx showing blitz here right up the middle. Evans with time. And he hits his receiver right at the 30-yard line. It's Sextro hauling it in.
That was Garrett Hoagland, middle linebacker, applying the pressure, but cool hand Luke Cole Evans just moving right up in the pocket like a good quarterback's supposed to do, delivering another strike right to the middle of the defense there. Huge first down pickup.
Gain of 17. Kyle Sextro had that big TD late against Kearney. Caught it, had contact, and took it in that fourth quarter. He was a sure-handed tight end.
Sextro doing a good job finding the hole in the defense there.
Evans will keep it on the option. He gets a couple. Balanced rushing attack, as you might imagine. You have Evans with 4 carries, Riley with 4, Francil with 4, and you have Sykes with 1.
Yeah, kind of a linchpin for this Grand Island offense. They really like to share the ball, move the ball around. Makes you very unpredictable.
And the Lynx had that little swing pass snuffed out. Evans forced to tuck it and run.
That time Cole Evans getting caught in a very tough position there. You really got to credit this Lincoln High defensive line. They're doing a good job of disrupting what the Islanders want to do up front.
Third and 6 as Evans looks to the sideline, getting the play. Sykes motions across. And we have a Grand Island timeout with 6:27. We'll take a timeout as well. 6:27 to go. Big third down coming up. Third and 6 facing Grand Island here coming out of this timeout. Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen with you. Like to remind you, our streaming sponsor for this contest is the University of Nebraska-Kearney. UNK is the most affordable university in the state. Quality academics matched with low tuition makes the University of Nebraska at Kearney a wise choice. Apply today and start making a difference. unk.edu.
Big third down right here.
Evans steps up and can't hit Douglas. And this will be the first punt for the Grand Island team tonight.
And what I wanted to say is why that third down was so big, because of everything that Grand Island's been doing well, and they have been, they're still only one play away from getting this thing tied up. And the way that you can limit an offense like Lincoln High is to keep them on the sideline. So you want long, sustained drives. Good job by the Lynx standing tall there, forcing the punt.
Evans is going to keep this one. And this is going to be close. I don't think he made it.
Evans thinking he saw the corner there, but I think that team speed we're talking about from Lincoln High really came into play. Closed the gap, denied Evans the first down. Another special teams blunder for the Islanders.
Well, we've talked about it in that game against Kearney. They do that rugby-style punt where it's basically up to Evans if you decide to kick it or tuck it and run, and he thought he saw something there.
Right. And he's got the green light to do that. 9 times out of 10, he makes the correct read. I just think that team speed for the Lynx shut him down before he got to that first down marker.
So another short field here for Lincoln High, starting on the Grand Island 38. Alford with another short pickup.
Yeah, big opportunity here for the
Another one of those short yardage runs on first down right up the middle. A lot of that has to do with keeping the defense honest. They know they're not going to pick up a lot, or they got to figure they're not going to pick up a lot of yards on those style of plays, but those are setting up plays for later on in the drive.
Caleb Francel was in on the tackle for Grand Island, back to Alford. And again, about the same result, but no, he keeps his legs churning, and he gets about 3 or 4 more yards.
I think we might see Sims down on the turf in a little bit of pain here. Young man got up. Looks like his right arm kind of got dinged up a little bit. But how about the power? Mentioned it earlier. Alford keeping those legs pumping, picking up some extra yards after contact.
Sims was at the training table after that last defensive series. We'll keep our eyes on him as the training staff is checking him out currently. 3rd and 3 for Lincoln High.
Rub some dirt on it.
He's got to find some dirt somewhere on this turf field. Rub one of those tire
crumb
bits on it.
rubber.
There you go. Well, pickup of another first down. Morgan Perry with some nifty moves for a 5-yard pickup.
Now I think you're seeing Morgan Perry kind of getting his confidence back there. Had a couple drops early on. Real nice secure catch there once again in some traffic. And he didn't see his helmet look upfield before he caught it. Really zoned in on the ball there, tracked it, got his hands on it. Strong hands.
Fresh set of downs on the 23-yard line. Alford again with the handoff, and the Lynx opting to stick more to the grounded pounded game on this drive, and it's working.
Well, I think you're seeing a little bit of rhythm here for Lincoln High, and I like what they're doing. They're not forcing the issue down the field. We know they can pass. They're a passing team. It's really what they do best, but they're having success moving the ball on the ground. Don't get away from it. Don't outcoach yourself. Go with what's working. Force that defense to come up and honor your run.
There's another little jet sweep. Trying to get around the edge, and credit the corner, Ace McInnes, taking on that block and not getting pushed inside.
You're right. Ace doing a real good job of keeping the edge there, not blowing contain, but we do have a flag on the field.
That was Luff with the carry. We'll see what the call is. Block below the waist. Shot block against Lincoln High.
Reese Mentor saying, that wasn't me. What are you talking about? I didn't go too low.
Stripes thought otherwise, and they're going to march it off.
I was going to say, the guys with the yellow laundry saw it differently, young man.
Takes it all the way back to the 34. Second and 21. Just over 4 to go in the half. Plenty of time for Case. Reverses the field. And the Lynx turning a little bit of nothing into something there.
Yeah, that play really broke down on Cedric Case, doing a good job of just finding an outlet receiver there, an up back. Then that back did a good job of breaking some more tackles, getting it to 3rd and 10. You know, that's a 3rd manageable for this style of offense. Really nice pickup there on a broken 2nd down.
That was Alford. He picked up 12 on that little swing pass. 3rd and 10. This time another swing pass and a big hit, as you had Perry trying to haul it in.
Defensive backs did a real nice job of coming up and not allowing that catch to be completed. I'm very impressed with Cruz and Krilikowski, the 2 defensive linemen, doing a real good job shooting the gaps, putting some pressure on Case right now.
Timeout taken by Lincoln High. You're pretty much in the exact same spot you were last drive when they attempted that 39-yard field goal, so Coach Mackey and company clearly want to discuss what we should do here.
Yeah, and if that last kick maybe give them a little something to think about. Maybe they're going to go for it here. And why not? Take a shot in the end zone. We know this offense has the athletes and the capability of doing that.
3:08 remaining. We were just talking about how well the offenses were clicking in that first quarter. And now this second quarter, the defense seems to have caught up on both sides.
I thought we saw some real good adjustments towards the end of that first quarter from Lincoln High, bringing an extra defender up, kind of forcing the issue. And then you saw the same with Grand Island. What they end up doing there was taking another defensive back and kind of sneaking them in there and taking a linebacker, letting them help out with those seam routes up the middle of the field. And then you saw Lincoln High there with a nice adjustment on offense. Oh, you're going to drop a guy back on us? We're going to run the ball a little more. Good game of cat and mouse here in the first half.
And it looks like the Lynx are just going to go for it. 4th and 10. Case to the sideline. He hits his receiver. And it's going to be close.
It's going to be very close. Ace McKinnis did a real good job of closing in and wasting no time delivering the tackle there. And the defense holds. Ace McKinnis, excellent job securing the tackle, wrapping up, getting his man to the ground before he could get upfield.
As Jaden Ellis with the catch, just not quite enough. The Lynx turnover it on downs.
Ellis did a real good job of getting his head around, locating the ball, and securing the catch. Just didn't have the time to get the ball up the field and pick up the first.
So long field for Grand Island, starting on their own 14. Evans again getting the call from the sideline. Out route. Hits his big target in Carson Cahoy. Again, that's the backup QB. Transition to wide receiver.
Well, good coaching staffs always get their best athletes out on the field, and that's exactly what Tomlin's doing here with Cahoy. You got to get those guys out on the field, and you're seeing why right there. Cahoy doing a good job pinpointing that ball, getting his feet inbounds. Nice gain on first down.
Pickup of 5. Now the Islanders go to the ground. John Riley rumbling forward. This will be close to a first down.
And if you're an Islander fan, yes, of course, you would like to score one more time before you go into half, but their biggest point of emphasis here is to keep the ball away from the Lincoln High Lynx. You don't want to give this ball back and let them get into a 2-minute drill and tie this thing up heading into half.
Too wide to the far side, again right up the middle. Nothing doing that Lynx front line, stopping that play in its tracks. And it looked like it was big Reese Minotaur in on the action, among others.
Grand Island really wants to pick up at least one more first down here to kind of salt away the clock. Lincoln High still with 2 timeouts. Let's see if that comes into play. If they if they can get another stop, don't be surprised to see Lincoln High start using those timeouts.
That puts you in a compromised position too. Grand Island not sure if they want to pass or run.
Right.
Of course, risking if you have that incompletion, you're stopping the clock as well. Ball pops out on the handoff to Riley, and Lincoln High recovers. Not sure what happened there, but that is a huge break for the Lynx, and they have a real opportunity heading into halftime.
Looked to me like the running back, John Riley, never really had full control of the ball through the handoff there. Not sure if Cole Evans was trying to pull it back or give the ball off there. You're going to have some of those fumbles, those follies, and that type of zone read offense. The Lynx being very opportunistic, jumping on that ball, giving their offense another opportunity here with the short field.
The first touchdown for Lincoln High came off a muffed punt. They started on the 21. Now after this fumble, they have 19 yards to go. Case, quick drop. It's batted. And that was knocked up in the air by Mateo Martinez.
I tell you what, that defensive front for Grand Island continues to impress. Martinez, Cruz, Kulinowski, all these guys are doing an excellent job throughout this first half.
2nd and 10.
Come on, D!
Pressure coming from the outside edge. Alford gets around the corner. He's still going up the sideline. He extends. Touchdown Lynx, 19-yard run for Alford. And the Lynx are 1 point away from tying it.
Alford once again showing you that versatility. Yes, he's got the speed. He can get to the outside, but he got to the outside due to his power, breaking a couple arm tackles to get to the outside, churning it up. And then the rest was history there as he was able to fight his way to the goal line. Tough run there for Mr. Alford.
High snap, high kick. We're tied. 14-14.
Well, hold on. We got a flag on the field here. Crew talking it over. Looks like the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. And before that play even fully transpired, I want to say I really like that play call that they went back to the run. They've been having a lot of success with the running game. And due to the fact that they still have 2 timeouts in their back pocket with 1:50 left in the game, they weren't forced into a traditional 2-minute offense. The short field, the timeouts in your back pocket, you were allowed to do what your offense was really executing, and that's the running game thus far for the Lincoln High Lynx.
Now the good news for Grand Island, yes, Lincoln High scored, but there's still 1:41. That's more than enough time to put points on the board themselves.
Oh, man, and if you're Grand Island, you've done so many good things throughout this first half, and then you look up at the scoreboard, and it's all tied up. That's how pivotal turnovers and special teams are, especially early in the season like this.
So you mentioned that penalty, Andy. It's against Grand Island. And the Lynx will kick it off from midfield.
Now we've already seen Lincoln High with one of those high sky kicks. Puts a lot of pressure on your up backs. Wonder if they're going to try and do the same here. You're in a good position to do that, or if they're just going to try and kick it through the end zone.
A booming kick. We have a flag, though, and it looks like it'll be offsides.
All right, we're going to do it again, and we're going to back it up to the original spot.
Penalty, kickoff from the 50-yard line. Deep for the...
So it'll move it back to the 45. You still would expect Lincoln High to put this one through the end zone.
Yeah, I think we might have had a couple defenders there for Lincoln High offsides. Line judge is doing a really good job the last couple of years being on top of that, not allowing guys to get a full head of steam. They used to let that go back in my day. You could kind of get a half step, get a little bit of a jump on the kickoff there. Once again, player safety at the forefront of everything we do in high school football.
Another big kick. And there's the touchback.
Well, you mentioned it, Brandon. 1:41 here to go. Plenty of time for Grand Island to run their 2-minute offense. I think a lot's going to be decided on what happens here on first down. If they get a nice little gain, okay, then it opens things up. But if they get sacked, if it's a non-gain, they might just want to bleed the clock away and go into halftime all tied up here.
Islanders with 80 yards to go. Right up the middle. Now it's Franzel with his 5th carry.
See, and this is where those timeouts kind of come up big, where Grand Island spent a couple early in the first quarter getting the right personnel in time here. Now they don't have a timeout to call and conserve clock. And it appears Tomlin's comfortable just letting the clock kind of play itself out here. They don't want to follow up a mistake with another one.
Well, this, another big run. Franzel lowering the shoulder.
Yeah, it leaves you wanting a little bit more, but I think that's a little bit by design there. Link's kind of backing off defensively. They don't want to let anything get behind them, and especially if Grand Island elects to run the ball, that's really playing into the hands of what Lincoln High wants to execute here defensively.
It was Kleinschmidt with the tackle. Clock continuing to wind down. Again, Lincoln High still has 2 timeouts. Franzel breaks 1 tackle and then is stood up after the second. Marcel Austin with the tackle. No gain on the play.
Good pursuit from Lincoln High there. Linebacker secondary coming up. Need some additional help there bringing the ball carrier down. And it looks like GI is going to allow this one to run out. We're going to go in all knotted up at 14 all.
And there's the final whistle. 14-14 your score here at halftime. Lincoln High getting in the end zone before the halftime break to even things up. We'll take a quick break as well. We'll hear from the Lincoln High principal. We'll take a look at some highlights and do some analysis as well. You're watching high school football on News Channel Nebraska. And welcome back here to Beechner Athletic Complex's Pfeiffer Field. Brandon Axmit, as we are currently in halftime, we're tied 14-14. Grand Island and Lincoln High knotted up here on the halftime show, brought to you by USAVE Pharmacy, your locally owned USAVE. They support communities and area athletes and are proud to be the low price leader with the hometown touch. You can find your nearest location at usaverx.com. Well, joining me here in the booth is Lincoln High president, that'd be pretty cool. Principal Mark Larson. And Mark, first off, we appreciate you allowing us to be here and be a part of this game. Yeah, we were a little nervous earlier with the rain.
Yeah.
TV and rain doesn't mix. It was hot also as well, but when it's all said and done, you can't complain about what we have.
What a beautiful night in the shadow of our state's capital. Beautiful night here, good temperature, and a great football game.
Well, and let's talk about football, because that's one of the easy things to talk about in a football game first off. But the storyline really has been this group that are now seniors that have sort of restored the pride in this Lincoln High football program. It started 2 years ago as sophomores. They've grown as juniors, and now there's very high expectations. I would say probably higher expectations for this program than there's been in a while for this season specifically.
Yeah, this program's resurgence has in some ways mirrored our resurgence as a school. Going back about 5 or 6 years ago, this program did not win a game. And slowly our coaches and our staff have done an amazing job loving on these kids and holding them to really, really high expectations. And it's been a slow process, but I'm really, really excited about what I see in these kids. And what's awesome is they're awesome kids too. They really do well in the classroom and in our community as well. And like I said, this football program is kind of a microcosm of what I believe is going on in our school right now. One of the things that we really try and do at Lincoln High over the last couple of years is focus on excellence and holding all of our students to high expectations and pushing them to achieve their potential in whatever it is. And our football program isn't the only thing going on right now that is really improving and doing a great job, and that's due to our students, first of all, our community. We have great support here in this community, and we have an amazing staff that works really, really hard to push our kids to do the best that they can.
Well, and you talked about how this football program represents the resurgence that Lincoln High is having as a whole, and you look at the enrollment numbers, and they're going up. And what do you attribute that to, as you being much more hands-on on the academic side and the student enrollment side than the athletics side? How has this process been made a reality?
Yes, so going back about 8 years ago, Lincoln High was at about 1,500 students, and this year we're at just over 2,300, which I know is not quite as big as Grand Island, but we're getting there. This year we are the largest of the LPS high schools, and in a district like ours where we have open enrollment, where students and families can pick where they choose to go, that's a good thing, because it tells us that kids and families are wanting to come to Lincoln High because we've got some good things going on. And so we are really excited. Having a school where it's really full and kids are everywhere is sometimes a challenge, but it's a great problem, because again, it's a sign that in many ways we're doing some things right, and so we're really excited about where we are. In some ways, our programs, like our band that's on the field right now and our football team, I call those kind of the front porch of our school. A parent or a community member might not see a great lesson that one of our amazing teachers does in a classroom. They're going to fairly or unfairly judge how things are going at Lincoln High based on a concert that they go to, a play that they see, or a football game that they see. And so from the outside, when those things are going well, it's easy for people to say, yeah, I want to be a part of that.
Well, and you mentioned that 2,300 number, and in terms of those numbers, there comes a lot of diversity.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the student body here and all the different cultures and ethnicities and religions that are represented at Lincoln High, what benefits does that have for staff and students to be in an environment like this?
You know, our diversity is something that we are very proud of, and is something that we believe enhances all of our students' experience when they come to Lincoln High. Our students are from over 50 different birth countries and speak over 30 different first languages. And along with the written curriculum that they get in their classes, we believe that there's an experience that they get in going to classes and learning from and with people who are different than them and people who are from all over the world. And we think that's something that's really unique and, like I said, enhances the Lincoln High experience. And for many of our kids, that is why they choose to come to Lincoln High.
Well, and lastly, we'll get you out of here on one more question, but something else that students come to Lincoln High for specifically is that IB program that you guys offer, the only one in the city of Lincoln and only one of 3 in the state to offer this. Can you expand for those who don't know what the IB program, what it is and what it brings?
Yeah. Our IB program stands for an International Baccalaureate Program, and it's a program that is one of the most rigorous high school curriculums in the world. And our students, we have about 400 students who participate in what's called our pre-IB and our IB diploma program. And these are students who are very, very gifted and very, very smart, and they work through a program and work toward an IB diploma, which is recognized not only nationwide but worldwide, and recognized by colleges in terms of them getting college credits and things like that. But also it's a holistic program that gives them an opportunity to experience learning from not just an American perspective, but from a worldwide perspective.
Well, Mark, we know you're a very, very busy man, so I appreciate you spending the time with us, sharing a little bit more about Lincoln High, and we'll let you get back to doing whatever a principal does during a great high school football game on a Friday night.
Hey, thank you guys very much, and welcome to Fife Field tonight on this beautiful evening, and let's hope for a great second half.
We'll be back with more highlights and analysis. That was Principal of Lincoln High, Mark Larson. You're watching high school football on News Channel Nebraska. And welcome back. Beautiful scene here in the capital city. Currently at halftime, we are tied 14-14. Number 8, Grand Island. Number 7, Lincoln High.
Score what you'd expect it to be. However, Grand Island's got to feel like they've kind of dominated this game. They really have, offensively and defensively. It's just the turnovers and the blunders they've had on special teams has really allowed the Lynx to tie this one up going into half there, and now it's a whole new ball game heading into the third quarter.
Well, let's take a look at some of those highlights. Instant replays brought to you by Great Western Bank here at the USAVE Pharmacy halftime show. Grand Island got on the board first, opening drive for the Islanders, and it was Evans finding Douglas for his second touchdown of the season. That was a 4-yard out route. It's 7-0. Now things started to change in Lincoln High's favor here. Douglas just unable to haul in the punt. It gave the Lynx a short field, and Lincoln High would end up making them pay and tie things up. When Lincoln High started on their 21-yard line, and great play by Cedric Case. You see him in trouble. He extends the play, and then getting open in the end zone for the TD is Jaden Horton. That would make it 7-7 in the first quarter. Grand Island not to be done, though, yet. They answer right back. Caleb Francel had 4 carries in this drive, and he caps it off with that 6-yard TD, making it 14-7. But right before halftime, a fumble by Grand Island, another short field for the Lynx, and Alford with the stiff arm, the nifty moves, and the wrestler, he can play football too. Extends for the pylon, ties things up 14-14. That score came a minute and 41 seconds into halftime, and we saw Grand Island opt not to try to take the lead again. They kind of ran the clock out and went into halftime with a 14-14 ball game.
Well, I think that was a smart move for Tomlin to do. Coach Tomlin for GI. Don't go ahead and put your team out there in a position to make another mistake and allow a short field to develop for the Lynx to capitalize on, maybe even take a lead into halftime. Go ahead. You had no timeouts to spare. You ran out of them in the first quarter there. Go ahead, take a knee or just do some conservative running plays, get into halftime all tied up. New game to start off the third quarter here.
Both teams are back out on the field. Stretching out, we got that 3 minutes put back on the clock, so we'll take another break and be back with third quarter action here on News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back here to Beechner Athletic Complex's Fife Field. Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen with you on News Channel Nebraska. We are ready to go for the second half. Grand Island will be receiving. Tie ball game, Andy. 2 quarters to go, 2 top 10 teams.
Yeah.
Beautiful night. What else could you ask for?
Really living up to the build-up here. 7 versus 8, top 10 matchup, as you said, all tied up at halftime. Both teams took different routes to get there, but as it is, 14-all right now.
Now this third quarter is brought to you by Midwest Bank. They proudly support students on the field and in the classroom. Log on to MidwestBank.com to start saving for your students' education today. High kick fielded by Douglas. He has some speed. Gets to about the 30.
Real good communication there between Douglas and the up man. Douglas calling him off, knowing that he had the speed to get up and get underneath the ball there. Caught it in full stride, picked up another 7 or 8 yards after the catch. And that's what you like to see, especially after a couple slip-ups on special teams. Douglas taking control of the situation, making the correct play, getting to the ball, getting upfield.
High snap, handoff to Riley. Not much doing on that edge.
Now, where Grand Island's had a lot of success is working those quick hidden routes. And sometimes those routes are 7-8 yards down the field. That's just the speed we're talking about between Douglas and Sextro and how they can get downfield, especially up the seam, and make it happen. Wouldn't be surprised if GI goes back to those quick passes here.
That was Reese Mentor on the tackle. As Evans going for it all, and he hits his receiver. Ben Riley in a foot race. He's going to take it all the way. 69-yard strike, and the Islanders retake the lead.
I tell you what, Grand Island loves to work the seam route, and why not? They're so efficient at doing so. I thought they might go back to the passing game. They do in a big way. 60-yard plus strike to start things off here in the third quarter.
That's one way to get things going. Islanders coming right out of the locker room. Takes them less than a minute. And that was Evans putting it right on a dime.
Wow, and we talked about all the athleticism and all the athletes over there for the Lynx, but don't sleep on that Islanders. They have some serious team speed as well. Showcasing right there, Ben Riley getting up the seam, kind of stumbled after the catcher, kept his feet, then had enough to get in the end zone, outrunning the defense.
Lincoln High will have a chance to answer when we return. Well, Andy, that didn't take long for the offense to get going for Grand Island. Less than a minute, and GI is back up by 7.
No, it really didn't. I really like how GI goes about it. They don't force anything in there. They let the plays come to them. They take what's available, and they do a good job of keeping a defense honest. You saw them open up with the run play there. That was just enough to keep those linebackers up to allow Riley to get behind them.
And the Lynx getting around the outside edge. Chance for a big return. And Lincoln High will start off in Grand Island territory.
Been so impressed with the discipline and the opportunistic mindset of the special team unit for the Lynx. They have made some big-time plays here that's really kept them in the game here thus far. Now you're seeing another big-time return up the sideline for Lincoln High.
That time it was C.J. Jones. So the Lynx will start on the 44-yard line.
Now something to keep an eye on here. Sam Sims, middle linebacker for GI, is not out there. He's not in shoulder pads. Has a sling on that right elbow.
And he is the heart and soul of this Islander defense. That is about the last thing you want when you're playing a high firepower offense like Lincoln High. We'll definitely see right now how it impacts defensively what the Islanders can do.
Well, and you saw the adjustment, especially midway through that second quarter there where Lincoln High, they recognized that GI was putting an extra guy back to take away the passing game, so they really started running the ball with success off tackle. Let's see if they stick with that.
Play action, ball tipped off the seam, and it falls in between about 3 Islanders.
And that's liable to happen when you're trying to force the ball in a tight window like that with a lot of traffic. You're going to get a lot of batted balls, tipped balls, and you're really putting yourself up for risk there, getting one of those tipped balls picked off.
That was Jordan Hofelt getting his hand on it. Brings up 3rd and 6. Quick pass, and it's batted again and nearly hauled in again. Islanders with an emphasis of getting those arms up.
Kulikowski, Riley, big number 53, once again getting his hands up. Disciplined play from this defensive line. I can't say enough good things about this GI front defensive 4 here. Been doing a real good job shooting the gap, playing their responsibility, and when they can't get there, when they can't make the play, apply the pressure, they get their hands up.
4th and 6. High snap to the up back. And a great recovery by Lincoln High to punt that one away. And it'll take a favorable bounce as well. That's about as good as you could have hoped for Lincoln High after that.
How cool
snap.
is Cedric Case under pressure there? High snap. He barely got a hand on it. Stopped it from going down the length of the field there. Corralled it. And then just a cool little punt there in traffic. And it ended up putting him
2-yard line.
on the 2-yard line. What a play out of number 10.
So still 21-14 on your Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. Go green with E15 and fill up at your nearest Ace stop today. Islanders are pinned rather extremely deep in their own territory. Francel rumbles ahead for a few.
See, and those are the type of plays that just keep a defense honest. It keeps those linebackers up. I love how really both these offensive units have that tendency to keep a defense where they're at and try and dictate to them.
A little more breathing room for the Islanders. Ball pops out again. There's a scramble for it. It's scooped and a score for Lincoln High. Jadis Ellis.
Once again, opportunistic defense for the Lincoln Lynx. Jadis Ellis being very smart, keeping himself around the ball, making himself available for the big play. Scoop and score for the defensive back. Lynx tie it up, or a PAT away from tying it up once again.
My goodness, and if you're Grand Island, you can say, how unlucky can we be? And Lincoln High, like you said, Andy, taking full advantage of every opportunity they've been given.
Well, it's all about limiting your mistakes. We talked about that in the pregame. Grand Island just making a few too many mistakes, especially on special teams, and the Lynx are capitalizing.
Injured player down on the field.
Might be Brighton Carroll, I'm not sure. Number 30. There was quite a scrum around the ball there once it hit the turf. A lot of bodies flying down to the turf. Good to see the young man up on his feet. There was actually Francel, the ball carrier.
He's able to walk off the field, but Lincoln High now an extra point away from once again tying it back up. It's a boxing match. One team scores, the other team comes right back and scores.
Really
hasn't
is.
been more than a 2-possession, or hasn't been over a 1-possession ball game in any instance.
Punch, counter punch. You're spot on. Now we did see a missed field goal for the Lynx early on.
And it's wide. Break for the Islanders. They still have a 1-point lead.
It's kind of hard to say, tricky to say that the Lynx are really outplaying Grand Island on special teams when their kicking game, scoring-wise, really hasn't been up to snuff.
21-20, 10-14 to go in the third. We'll be back. Well, the great news for Lincoln High is they had a fumble and a score. The only caveat is they weren't able to capitalize on the PAT, so Grand Island's still with a lead.
Well, you know, it was still a gift. That was a 6-point gift given to them by the Grand Island offense. Their scoop and score. Jaden Ellis being Johnny on the spot, getting the ball into the end zone and getting it there in a hurry. You know Grand Island's offense wants to get back on the field and make amends for that little bit of a slip up there deep in their own territory.
If you're Grand Island, the positives are you've had 3 turnovers that have turned into points and you're still leading.
Yeah. You're always such a glass half full type of guy, Brandon. Just a joy being in the booth with you.
Means a lot. Means a lot, Andy. Well, also glass half full because we have plenty of football left to play here tonight. as these two top 10 teams are continuing to battle. Grand Island returns it across the 26. I believe that was a Tikpahoo.
We really do, and there's been a lot of twists and turns. You really can't tell how this game is going to play itself out. Everything out on the table here. 1 point game, exactly what you'd expect. Top 10 matchup, number 7 versus number 8 here tonight.
Well, UNK is the most affordable university in the state, and UNK is our streaming sponsor tonight. Quality academics matched with low tuition makes the University of Nebraska-Kearney a wise choice. Apply today and start making a difference. Visit unk.edu.
John Riley kind of burning out there, trying to get to the corner, lost his feet for no gain there on the first down. Quick handoff there from that pistol formation.
Riley motioning out. And there's the post route. Hard hit, ball pops out. And they're going to say incomplete pass. Carson Cahoy was the intended target.
I thought Carson Cahoy caught that late hit there. Sprung the ball loose. Cahoy was not able to come down with it. Credit the Lynx defense coming up big there on second down.
Coach Tomlin having a word with the side judge. I think maybe. So guessing, but maybe saying it could have been a helmet-to-helmet contact, which is what we saw earlier called against Grand Island.
Helmet-to-helmet, or Cahoy had his knee down before the ball came out.
And there, Cahoy just unable to haul that one in either.
Oh, Cahoy needs to keep his feet there. Right at the last moment, he left his feet, kind of jumped up, and the ball got out in front of him. I've got to believe if he would have just kept running, he could have got underneath that ball for the big-time gain.
So a 3 and out for the Islanders, and a real opportunity now for Lincoln High.
You know, to Carson's credit, he's a converted quarterback. He's just such an athlete. They want to get him out on the field there and give him those opportunities.
Punt is away. Takes an Islander bounce.
Hopkins might have got a hand on that one, and on the rush, he was awful close to it, and the ball kind of sputtered off that way.
Get another look at it here. Great Western Bank providing the instant replay.
All right, well, Coach Tomlin talked about in the pregame, how are you going to respond to adversity? Things not going your way right now. Defense has to step up, get a stop, get the offense back out on the field if you're a Grand Island fan.
Dive up the middle. The Islanders are there. Alford with a short pickup.
Really like how decisive Alford is with the ball in his hand. He wastes no time, no motion getting upfield. Powerful running back for the Lynx.
Gain of 1 on the last carry. And again, Alford lowers the shoulder, picks up a first down, gain of 11.
That's what I'm talking about right there. It wasn't there on the first play. Lynx staff trusted what they were seeing on the field, went right back to it. Alford able to break that first wave of defenders, getting the first down.
This time play action, Case rolling out. And another drop. Jaden Horton this time, who's the leading receiver for the Lynx in terms of receptions tonight with 4.
Horton knew that he had some room to run there if he would have just secured the catch, kind of got his eyes off the football before he secured it. How frustrating for the Lynx offensive coaching staff. You've drawn up some really nice plays, should be completions. Few too many of them hit the turf here tonight for the Lynx.
Second and 10. And another drop.
Oh.
This time, I believe, Miller.
Yeah, Caleb Miller not looking the ball in. I think that hit him right on the number there. Case standing in there, delivering another really nice pass. That had a little touch on it as well. These receivers really need to start hauling it in for the Lynx. That can all turn around very quickly in one play here.
Big third down. Jones motions across. Case on the out route, hauled in, and it'll be a first down and then some. Jaden Horton. There's that catch you mentioned. He had the drop earlier in the drive. Comes up with a big first down pickup.
And that catch had so much more difficulty into it than the last one. Extended his hands out, caught on his fingertips, needed to get his feet inbounds, know where the pylon was at to pick up the first. What a catch for Horton.
McInnes on the tackle. We talked about C.J. Jones, though. He had 160-plus yards against Bellevue West. He has largely been held in check here tonight.
Once again, that can change in a hurry. GI cannot lose him.
Alford up the middle. Sheds a couple tacklers. Gets about 3. That is carry number 13.
That was a tough 2 yards, just like the set of downs started last time, picking up a tough 1 or 2 yards to begin the drive, or begin the set of downs there. Alford, tough sledding up front there. Really got to credit GI defense, team defense, for rallying to the football.
Second and 7. Trips to the far side. Case going for it all on the fly route. He's past McInnes. Foot is out of bounds, and the ball is dropped. You saw the speed, though, from Jadis Ellis right there.
Ellis did a real nice job of getting underneath that ball and making a play on it. And, man, did that have some nice touch on it. Almost got reeled in there for the score.
Brings up 3rd and 7.
But credit the defensive backs for GI for hanging in there, batting the ball away right at the end, right at the last second.
Trips again to the far side. Pressure. Case gets away with the pump fake, lowers the shoulder. We'll see where this is spotted.
Well, there you're seeing the athleticism and the strength from Case. Excellent job once again, keeping his cool, avoiding the pressure, making something out of nothing. Big third down pickup there for the Lincoln Lynx offense.
And he can run it too. Talking to Coach Mack, he said, make no mistake, he's a gunslinger, but if he needs to, he can put it on the ground, and you saw it on display there. Huge pickup on 3rd down. Now there's a jet sweep pitch, and a huge tackle flying in there. That was Ben Riley.
Ben Riley doing exactly what his assignment was on that, shooting the gap. As soon as he diagnosed that jet sweep, he got in the backfield, secured the tackle. That's how you wrap up. Both these offenses really like to stay on pace, stay on schedule. 2nd and long, 2nd and 15. That is not staying on schedule.
Ellis again running across. Alford gets the handoff. He's to the 2nd level. Brought to the ground. That'll bring up a 3rd and short. That's actually Perry, with the carry.
Just as you say that, Perry puts him back on schedule. 3rd and short. And you got to believe Lincoln High is viewing this as they have 2 plays to get 2 yards. Don't be surprised if they take a shot at the end zone here, trying to catch the Islander defense off guard.
And there's the handoff trying to get to the edge. Alford tripped up. And that was a big time, turned out to be a tackle by McInnes.
Little trickeration there from the Lynx, trying to bounce it outside on the quick hitter. Ellis got him just enough to trip him up. And that was enough for the first down.
Ball now on the 14. Drive now over 4 minutes here for Lincoln High. Alford again. And this defense seems to be getting worn down a little bit. Again, we mentioned the absence of Sam Sims, and the running game continues to have success for Lincoln High.
Just turning and burning. Isaiah Alford, I've talked about it at length here tonight. He's got a little shake and bake to his game, but man, he does a really good job of running with power behind his pads.
There he goes again. Going to be short of the end zone, but not by much. Pickup of 5, and that puts it on the 1 yard line.
And that picked up a first down. And now you're seeing some of the defenders for Grand Island with their hands on their hips, a little huffing and puffing. I think they're just a little gassed.
Right up the middle to Alford, and he rumbles in. And Lincoln High has its first lead of the ball game.
Good to see Alford get paid off there. That was really his drive from top to bottom. They got put in a couple of second and longs, and he was able to spring free and really put them in a third and short, third and medium, manageable situation with his tough, hard-nosed running.
And interesting here, so the Lynx are going to opt to kick the PAT instead of try to re-even it up with a 2-point conversion. And it's good.
I like the call. Get some confidence back in your kicker. Let him know you're going to go back to him because you might need him late in this game for a field goal to pull this one off.
4:36 left to go in the third. Lincoln High has the lead. Grand Island will try to answer when we return. And welcome back. Central Nebraska Orthopedics. From advanced surgical techniques to sports medicine expertise, Central Nebraska Orthopedics is dedicated to the motion of life. Lincoln High leading 27-21 here after that Isaiah Alford 1-yard TD rumble.
Talk about the poise of their offensive unit there. Got put in a couple second and longs, third and longs. Really just stuck with the game plan and pulled off a couple really nice plays there. Especially from Alford. That was his drive. Capping it off with a short yardage touchdown.
Grand Island again, after that last fumble, scoop and score. Heads hanging a little bit low. They need something that'll give them some momentum. They started out the half for that 69-yard touchdown strike.
Yeah, we're less than a minute into the second half, and GEI already put another one up on the board. All the momentum was going on their way, but then that's what the power of a turnover can do for you.
There's some speed from Atikbahu. He gets out to the 35-yard line. I think we're going to have a late hit, though. Personal foul against Grand Island.
Might be Jack Weemhoff there, big number 44. Been doing such a good job from his defensive end position. I think he just played a little too long beyond the whistle there, taking his guy to the ground. Picking up the flag, negating a really nice return for Tikpu.
And they'll take it back.
I know we sound like a broken record here, Brandon, but another special teams mishap for Grand Island. You want to win these big road games against ranked opponents, you got to limit your mistakes, especially on special teams. All right, well, we know the Grand Island offense is more than capable to answer. Their team really needs them right now. Give the defense a break, sustain a drive. You don't need to score here, but you need to get a couple first downs. I thought that defense looked a little gassed.
So the Islanders, after the penalty, have to go back to their own 20. Evans on the keeper.
You know, that kind of gets lost in everything that Cole Evans does so well, how smart he is, how quick he is to read a defense. So much is contingent on his decision-making in the zone read offense. Talk about the heart, him keeping that, his feet churning and burning there, picking up those extra yards.
And right back up the middle on the handoff. And Riley gets a couple.
You see what the offensive coaching staff for GI wants to do right now. They want to make a statement. They want to take back the line of scrimmage. That's why they're running the ball up the middle. They're putting it on their experienced offensive line. Guys, get us a first down.
3rd and 5. Evans to Douglas, can't haul it in. And so a quick 3 and out.
Hoagland with real tight coverage there on the outside, making things difficult. And you're right, Brandon. That was a quick 3 and out. Not what GI was looking for.
Booming punt. And Lincoln High, with all the momentum, will start on their 40.
Juergensmeyer with a real nice punt there. Even got the bounce, tack on about 7 or 8 more yards at the end of that one. Return man for Lincoln High didn't get under it and call the fair catch. Still pretty good field position for Lincoln High.
So if you're Grand Island, how do you stop this? Because right now, Lincoln High, they're just slowly seeming like a machine. They're just methodically, this past about 7-8 minutes or so, have really been dictating what's going on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, it's a team game. You never want to pinpoint one guy or one player here or there, but I think you're seeing the effect of Sam Sims not holding down the middle linebacker position there for GI. He brings such a presence, especially when they put him in those blitz packages. Such a disruptor.
Morgan Perry loses 3 on that swing pass. Timo Sykes came up to make the tackle.
But if you're GI, you've done such a good job at taking away some of these receivers for Lincoln High. You might have to drop an extra guy in the box and try and contain this power running game that the Lynx have really leaned on midway through the second quarter on here tonight.
Alford stood up, but he's getting stronger as the game goes on. It looks like he's going to go down, then he always seems to get 2 or 3 more yards.
Just keeps those legs pumping. And that's what I was talking about, how he runs with leverage behind his pads. He's very disciplined. That makes it so much harder as a tackler, as a defender, to bring a guy down when he plays behind his pads with the discipline that Alford does.
3rd and 9. Can the Islanders force a 3 and out here? Pressure coming after Case. Throws on the run. And Islanders say interception.
Oh!
Referees won't give it to him.
Douglas thought he had it. I didn't get a real good look at it. We know the student section for GI thought he caught it.
Take a look at it here. Great Western Bank providing you this look. It was Kian Wentling. It looked like it bounced off the ground.
Wentling making a good play on the ball regardless. The defense stands tall, answers the call, forces the 3 and out.
Low punt. And Douglas fields it. Now he has a little bit of a wall. He is dangerous when he gets on the outside. And
that was a little bit of a gamble for him to go scoop that ball up. A lot of traffic there around him, but I'll tell you what, Brandon, when you gamble, sometimes you win. Douglas on the better end of that one, getting the ball upfield. It also caught the coverage team kind of on the back of their heels there. They thought he was going to go ahead and let that thing bounce to a stop. Douglas electing to scoop it up and get upfield with it.
About a 30-yard difference in field position as well.
Yeah, and the Islanders can use those 30 yards right now. Offense still having a tough time finding the rhythm after that quick hit and score to open things up here in the third quarter. That might be the shot in the arm they needed.
Carson Cahoy split out wide to the near side. Play action. Sykes catches it in the flat, cuts it upfield. He has one defender to beat. Sykes is off to the races, and a big-time pickup for the Islanders.
Excellent play design. They've been holding on to that one the entire game. Cahoy with a real nice block that really sprung Sykes to get upfield. Then you saw the speed getting a real nice gain there. Exactly what you wanted to see if you're a GI fan.
29-yard pickup for Sykes on his first reception. Islanders all the way down on the 22. Now Franzel on the ground.
Well, this has been a lot of fun to watch here tonight. Both of these offensive units can make you pay and make you pay in a hurry. We've seen the quick hit from both of these units. GI dialing it up right now.
We're under a minute to go. Franzel again cuts it up. Franzel's in the end zone for his second score of the game. And Grand Island has tied things back up 27-27.
Franzel, excellent job using his blockers, allowing the big guys to get downfield. Reed Billaby, I believe is his name, got up there and really did a good job of moving the defense back, allowing Franzel to get into the end zone.
Big extra point attempt here, and it's good. GI regains the lead, 28-27.
Everybody was kind of holding their breath on the GI sideline. They know how big that PAT was, gave them back the lead. Now that momentum that I was talking about that was sitting squarely on the Lincoln High sideline is back over on the Grand Island sideline. Funny how fast things change in the game of football.
We have ourselves a ball game, 1 point contest, less than a minute to go in the third. Don't go anywhere. Well, Andy, we did the boxer reference earlier, and we can't seem to get away from it. Punch, counter punch. Now, Lincoln High had a counter punch, then a punch of their own in a row, but then Grand Island comes right back. So, again, it's about the fourth or fifth lead change or tie we've had, but Grand Island has regained the lead.
Well, you know, that boxer talk, the stage was really set. Both coaching staffs kind of referenced that that might be the type of game that this would turn out to be, and that's definitely held true here. Each time a team makes a big play, it seems to be answered by the other like a heavyweight bout. And you'd expect nothing less. A 1 point game here, seconds away from the fourth quarter.
Chance for a turn here with Morgan Perry, who's wrapped up and pushed back.
I believe that was Alex Hinkin. Give the young man credit on special teams, wrapping up and not allowing the ball carrier to leave his arms, allowing the pursuit, the rest of his team to get there and secure the tackle.
The Lynx will still start on their own 25.
That might have been Darris there. GI has two number 20s. That's not my fault.
No, it's not as easy to do our job as people think, I tell you what. First and 10, 38 seconds left in this third quarter. 28-27 your score on the Aurora Co-op scoreboard. Alford spins away. Nowhere to go. Grand Island flying to the ball now. That was McKinnis, I believe, getting it on the tackle.
Playing some inspired defense right now, really filling the gap, shooting the gap here well. And I'll tell you what, that was a very impressive no-gain run there for Alford. I thought that was going to be a 3-yard loss. He had a real nice juke cut in the backfield, got to the line of scrimmage, side cut. That was a very impressive run for 0 yards. Kind of reminds you of Barry Sanders a little bit.
That is going to do it here for the third quarter of play. The Islanders up by 1 here on the road. Number 7, number 8 in a dogfight. We'll be back. Welcome back to Beechner Athletic Complex's Fife Field. Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen with you. Fourth quarter coming your way, brought to you by the Buffett Institute. Are you a community or business leader who cares about child care and early learning? Well, this event is for you. It's in Kearney and it's on September 17th. Register today.
I do care about child learning. I might have to be there, Brandon.
Hey, you might see Emily Nash there. She also cares about that.
All right. Well, this one definitely living up to the hype, the build-up, a top 10 matchup. We got a 1-point game going into the fourth quarter here. Everything you expected it to be. We've seen both offenses really come out and flex their muscles. I really like how Lincoln High's been able to diversify what they do well. They've really leaned on their running game here tonight.
Elusive moves here and a nice pickup on what was 2nd and 10.
And that will go in the books as a pass play, but that was really just an extended handoff in this style of offense.
And we talked about it in the third quarter. Believe it or not, that is C.J. Jones's first reception of the game.
That was a very smart play call there for Lincoln High offensive coaches. You got to get your playmakers involved in the game, even if it is just a little hitch route or something like that.
Alford cutting it back across. And not much of a gain there on 3rd and 2.
Isn't that funny how that works? You get a couple big plays go your way, and all of a sudden your defenders are flying to the football, playing great team defense. All it takes is a spark, and I truly believe a lot of it goes back to that Douglas punt return. He gambled, and he won. When he went up, scooped up that ball, got up 30 yards. Got a nice little return there, a huge difference. That could have been the play of the game thus far.
Low punt. Douglas thought about it that time, gets away. You hold your breath. You never know what he's going to do.
Yeah. Well, in that time you saw the cover team from Lincoln High. They weren't going anywhere. They weren't trotting off to the sideline. They were going to follow that one through.
Can't believe we've waited this long to make this announcement, Andy, but we are on Twitter, at NCN Sports. Feel free to interact with us. Give us a follow. Give us a tweet, at NCN Sports. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for. Send a picture, send a video, anything else you might like to throw in there. You may just get a shout-out live and on the air. Of course, if you follow us as well, we tweet out highlights, interviews, and we have game stats and reports from all across the state. We are not the only News Channel Nebraska TV crew out tonight. We have the game in Wayne as well. We have all of our radio partners. So if you're just a sports fan in general, following us on Twitter will really help you out.
So much fun to hear from our fans, too, on Twitter or through other mediums of social media. A lot of times we hear from folks out of state. We heard from a guy from Canada, Toronto, last night, tuning in to watch some of our coverage. A lot of fun for us to partake and deliver.
2nd and 8. Evans on the little jailbreak screen to Riley. He breaks 3. He's across the 50 and into Lincoln High territory.
So impressed with what Riley has brought to the table here tonight with his hard-nosed running style. He broke 2 tackles there. That play could have been a no gain. Riley put his head down, picked up some tough yards, kept his legs moving, kept those knees pumping. Huge gain, huge break for the GI offense.
Sykes with a carry, and that hole is plugged. Lincoln High is saying fumble, and they have the ball.
I think
see if we can see what happened here. Ball ripped out, yep. And looks like that's big Drake Krogh who recovered it, but my goodness, Lincoln High continuing to dominate in the turnover department. This, of course, coming after Coach Mackey said, hey, we had 3 turnovers last game against Bellevue West, didn't force 0. Well, that emphasis has certainly paid off here.
I'll tell you what, we're talking about the opportunistic style of this defense. They've already had a scoop and score, a couple of takeaways, and usually the team that wins the turnover battle ends up winning the game.
And here goes Alford. Foot race. He's brought down, but not before a huge pickup, and the Lynx are in business.
Wow, what a turn of events 2 plays later. Like you said, Lincoln High in business in the red zone, 1st and 10.
42-yard pickup. Ace McInnes saved the touchdown.
Well, I know when I look at Alford, he's a stocky guy. He runs behind his pads, great level. You don't expect that speed from the guy. And then he gets on the edge, and he's up 10, 15 yards before you know it.
And he is now at 21 carries, but is showing no signs of slowing down.
You really got to credit this offensive coaching staff from Lincoln High making the adjustment early on, diagnosing that GI was not going to allow them to beat them with the pass. The Lynx being versatile enough and confident enough in their running game to turn to that. Alford has answered that call here tonight.
Lynx on the 17. Not much up the middle. He had Wemhoff and others in there, stopping that one in its tracks for no gain.
That was a real nice job there by the GID line, getting into that gap, taking away that open space, and then the rest of the defense corralling to the ball.
Looks like we have a cramp on the field. Again, something you see early on in the season, especially when you get later in these games.
Well, and we're right behind the GI sideline here. We've seen a lot of players come over and get their calves massaged out here. Like you said, a lot of cramps happening here. And it's the type of night you'd expect that early in the season, hot, humid. Got to drink your liquids, you know. Got to stay hydrated.
What is it, pickle juice, mustard seeds, all that fun stuff? Mustard packets, something like that?
Well, and a lot of these guys are on supplements and creatine, and they really do the opposite, and you just have to drink even more than you think you need to.
Well, we have a great game here. And, of course, there's still 8:23 to go, but we'd like to remind you, if you'd like to rewatch all of this action, or if there is somebody you know who's at the game that didn't get a chance to see it, they can rewatch it, because, in fact, we're going to be rebroadcasting this on Sunday at 11:30 a.m., also at 9 o'clock Sunday. So if you want to watch it on TV, you can watch the rebroadcast that way. And, of course, you also can go to ncnsportsnow.com online within 24 hours after the game ends tonight. It'll be on the website. You can watch it whenever you want.
No rest
Got
for
that
the
all
wicked.
Figured out?
No rest for the wicked, like you say,
I don't know who has
Brandon.
to put those replays up.
No, and with a game like this, you're not really going to be out anything. You're actually going to want to go back to our website and watch the replay with a barn burner like this one's really playing out to be here.
And good to see the Islander player able to walk off under his own power. That's Kyle Sextro.
Another loss, another body down for this GI defense in a really critical part of the game.
And a big 3rd down and 9.
You got to think GI is going to bring the pressure. If you're ever going to blitz, this is it, 3rd and 9.
Kay stays in the pocket, going for it all in the corner, and it's knocked away. What a play. Ben Riley. He has a 69-yard touchdown catch. He can play defense as well.
Riley did a real good job of keeping his eyes on the quarterback while still knowing where his man was at with the athleticism, able to get up in the air and get his hand on the ball. I really like how he just batted it away. Didn't try and haul that one in, because when you do that, sometimes you tip it up to the offense, electing to just bat it down. Very disciplined play from an athletic player.
Huge field goal attempt here for the lead. It has the distance. It's wide. The leg was there. It was a chance to give the Lynx a 2-point lead. Instead, Grand Island takes over.
And the kicking woes continue for Lincoln High. That's the second field goal missed. They missed a PAT. And I tell you what, some of those kickoffs, when they're not doing their pooch punt type deal, those have been a little shaky as well here.
Great Midwestern Bank giving you that look, but man, that was about as close as you can get. Just pushed a little bit to the left.
And you see the flags moving just a little bit on the top of the field goals. That really had nothing to do with it. Not that windy, just a nice little breeze here right now.
And Douglas holding on to the ball there.
Yeah, I was going to say Douglas did a couple things I really liked there. Not only did he secure the catch, looked the ball in, and got upfield, he secured the ball once he took on contact, had both arms over it, especially when multiple defenders converged on him. Because you know Lincoln High is thinking turnover.
That was a pickup of 9. GI back to the ground. Riley, they're going to say no gain. Or no, they did give him at least a yard.
I thought he moved upfield just a little bit there. Tough run, tough 1-yard run there for the first down.
Evans looks like he'll keep this one. Gets around the corner, maybe a couple more.
That was a design quarterback run. That was another one of those plays that you're not always going to pick up a lot of yardage, but that's setting up things later on. Cole Evans is going to be able to step back on that bootleg and hit a guy downfield.
This time he'll keep it. Finds Douglas. He has a player to beat, gets by him, but there's Laundry in the backfield.
Well, see, that's what I was talking about. The very next play, Cole Evans looked like it was on a quarterback keeper, elects to pass the ball, caught the defense leaning towards him just enough to give Douglas enough room to get upfield after the catch. There's a lot to defend there. Both these offenses put so much pressure on your outside defenders.
Hold is the call. Looks like Javier Cruz right there, the guilty party. You can see it on the left side of your screen.
Cruz, I've been pouring on so much praise of you all game. Usually they only get mentioned when it's a hold. Not us. We've been talking very positive about these O-lines tonight. As it is, tough break for GI there, getting the holding penalty. Backing them up 10.
When you look at the success both these teams have had on the ground tonight, and it is a testament to what's going on in the trenches.
It really is. Both of these offensive line units playing a solid game here tonight.
Penalty will make it 2nd and 13. Grand Island is going to take, it looked like they were calling for a timeout, but we're playing, so 2nd and 13 still. Pressure. Evans has to get away, and another flag in the backfield. This one's probably going to be coming back too.
Yeah, that appears to be another hold. Back-to-back holds on GI. Cole Evans a little disappointed with a real nice scramble and run. Thought he picked up a first down. Not to be, as you got a good look at it here on the replay. Keep your eye on number 55 there on the left side.
Yep, Eric Allen, you see the tug there. And that's a byproduct, too. In these early games, you're getting a little bit more tired. You're not quite shuffling your feet as quickly, and you're then forced to grab some jersey.
Right, and these long developing plays that Grand Island likes to run puts a lot of pressure on the offensive line as well. They got to stay disciplined, keep their hands inside. When you see the jersey begin to get pulled, the separation away from the pads, that's an easy call for the officials.
Islanders all the way back on their 12. Evans with plenty of time lets it fly, and there's going to be a flag for defensive pass interference as Riley was the target.
Once again, John Riley getting behind the defense. If you're a Lincoln High coach, you know you've been going over that. In these long passing situations, you got to stay deep. Now, that's easier said than done when you're dealing with somebody like John Riley, the sneaky speed of Riley getting behind the defense once again.
It was 2nd and 28. Officials march off the penalty here. 2nd and 13.
Lincoln High can live with that pass interference call as well. Spot foul in high school, not an automatic first down like you see in the pros.
Evans has Douglas in the gap. And Douglas puts on the afterburners. That's a first down and then some. The Islanders are in Lincoln High territory.
This offense really has the Lincoln High defense on their heels there, and that's what those crossing routes do. You got to have great communication, especially in the defensive backfield. Douglas kind of running free there, coming off a pick, a little bit of a pick play.
Gain of 29. You see the composure from Evans. And Douglas continuing his great night. That is his 6th reception. Back to the ground. Riley rumbling.
There's the discipline from the offensive coaches from GI. Yeah, you've had a couple real nice pass plays go your way, but you got to stay balanced. You got to go back to your running game there. Good job punching the ball up the gut, setting up a 2nd and 4. And that last Douglas pickup, there wasn't a pick or a cross route. It was a double slant in. Once again, the underneath route opening things up for Douglas behind.
Riley again squeaking through the middle, has enough for a first down.
I'll tell you what, Riley's playing one whale of a game here. Saw a crease, took full advantage, picked up a tough first down right up the middle.
Official actually getting in the action too there. Glad to see he was able to hop up and be all right.
Back judge Brian Primbo getting a little too close for comfort on that one.
As a pickup of 8. Grand Island continuing to methodically march down the field, eating up clock while they do it.
Yeah, this is exactly what they wanted to do. Like you said, chew up some clock. You're sitting on a lead. You're working on a scoring drive.
Evans is going to keep this one. Stays in bounds.
Initially, Lincoln High did a real good job taking away the inside run, then stringing it out, but the athleticism of Cole Evans able to get outside, get upfield, setting up another 2nd down and short.
Pickup of 8, nearing the 4-minute mark. Carry up the middle by Francel. Moves the chains.
And now you're seeing that running back by committee really come into play here for GI. Francel has had a few really nice runs. Sykes has had some good runs. Evans, the quarterback, a few good-looking quarterback keepers as well.
Another cramp, looks like it's Francel. slow to get up. Yet during this break in the action, feel free to interact with us on Twitter. Grand Island Public Schools, GIPS at GI Public Schools, tweeting at NCN Sports. Giving us the great coverage thumbs up. We'll take it.
I was going to say, I bet I know who they're cheering for.
Yeah, and this isn't exclusive to Grand Island. Lincoln fans as well, whoever is watching, give us a tweet. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for. Again, it's at NCN Sports on Twitter.
We thought we were in for a good one here this evening, and it's really played out that way as well. We got a 1-point game under 4 minutes left.
Actually, I have to go back to because Tim Burnham tweeted at us today as well. He's actually at the game. He captured a little snapshot of us in our booth and says, thanks for being here again tonight at NCN Sports. And it is our pleasure. Glad to be broadcasting this great game between two top 10 opponents. Glad that you all are watching and hope you're enjoying this one at home as much as we are. 1st and 10 for the Islanders. Bobbled snap. Evans will keep it. And he cuts it up. Evans still going.
Wow.
What a play by the senior quarterback.
We've been talking about the athleticism of Cedric Case, and rightfully so, the quarterback for Lincoln High. But how about Case Evans making something out of nothing? It looked like there might be another fumble there, a bad exchange. Cole Evans just pulling the ball back out, running like all get out to the outside, cutting up for a 1st and goal.
And somehow, like you said, Andy, got 12 yards out of that.
Well, I thought Lincoln High defensive unit might start taking some risks, start blitzing on that pass set of downs. You got to think they're going to be bringing some pressure here.
Handoff up the middle. There's a couple more yards. 1st and goal to go from the 5 prior to the snap. There's a pickup of 2 more.
This is where I think Lincoln High really needs to stack the box. Don't give them something easy up the middle. You know GI likes to exploit that off-tackle zone read run. If they beat you on a pass to the outside with a Douglas or a Sextro, so be it. Do not allow them to waltz the ball up the middle and stick it in on you.
Islanders are letting the clock run down. 2nd and goal from the 3. Handoff and in. Caleb Francel takes it in from 3 yards out. The Islanders have a 34-27 lead.
Another well-designed play for the offensive coaching staff for GI. Cole Evans did a real good job delaying that handoff, drawing the defense into him just enough. Francel doing the rest of the work getting to the end zone.
That is Francel's 3rd trip to the end zone tonight.
I'll tell you what, Caleb just has a nose for the end zone. Very useful down there in red zone situations.
And the field, or the extra point rather, is good. 8-point ball game. 2:35 to go. Don't go anywhere. We have ourselves a barn burner, and we have a lot left to play. You're watching high school football on News Channel Nebraska. Capital City, and a great game here in Lincoln as Beechner Athletic Complex's Fife Field under the watch of the Sower. As Lincoln High is trying to make a comeback here, they have plenty of time to do it with 2.5 to play.
Not only do they have plenty of time, they got all 3 timeouts at their disposal. And I talked about it, I just touched on it. Midway through the 3rd quarter there, they could have elected to go for 2 and try to tie it up. I was glad to see that they weren't chasing points. It also gave some confidence back to their kicker, electing to go with the PAT. Now, if you score a touchdown, now you can chase the points. Now it's at a point where you got to go for the 2-point conversion. But you didn't know how that was going to play itself out earlier on in the game. You can still get the 2-point conversion here.
And this is not an unfamiliar situation either for Lincoln High. Case with time in the pocket, forced to step up. and he gets about 5. But you'll remember just last week against number 5 Bellevue West, they were down 16 with less than 6 minutes to go. They had to score twice. They had to convert 2 two-point conversions, and they did do that.
And, yeah, they forced that game into double overtime. So you know this offense has the capability to come back, and there's nothing to make you think that they couldn't do it here in their 2-minute offense.
There's a pass and catch, ball knocked out. And one official says fumble, the other says incomplete. We're waiting for a signal. As a bang-bang play, they're saying incomplete pass.
It was a bang-bang play, but I thought the receiver turned upfield. Let's just take a look at it here.
Atikpahu again laying the big hit.
Either way, Atikpahu being the man of the hour there at the moment, putting his head down, getting that shoulder pad right on the ball, jarring it loose.
3rd and 7. And timeout taken here by Lincoln High. Here's another look at it.
Oh.
It's definitely close.
Very close call there. Appeared Horton might have secured the ball and churned upfield, but we kind of have the ability to take a look at it in slow motion on replay.
So Coach Mackey, obviously wanting to come up with that perfect play here. 3rd and 7.
No, that was
you have
a
to
really
go for it regardless if you don't pick anything up here.
Right, that was a really good time out there for Lincoln High to take as the offense was kind of looking around, waiting for the play call. Time was running out on them. This is a huge 3rd down, and like you said, you got to view this as you have 2 plays to get 7 yards. Keep your composure. Don't kill yourself here on 3rd down.
Third and 7. Case going for it all. His receiver has it beat. Just a little bit too much on it. And that'll bring up a 4th down.
Oh, and Ellis did have a step on his man. Case just putting a little too much on it, like you said there, Brandon. And if you're GI, what are you going to do here? Are you going to blitz? Are you going to bring the pressure? Or are you going to elect to fall back into coverage?
And Lincoln High takes its 2nd timeout to figure that out.
Another good timeout. If I'm GI,
I apologize, Grand Island.
Oh, Grand Island's taking the timeout.
Yeah, so each team has 2 left.
Not a bad timeout for GI. They're going to talk it over here. If it was me, I would bring the pressure. I would force the issue. If you don't get home, if you don't get the sack, you're still forcing the issue. And you still got another, you're still forcing them to make a really tough play on 4th down. And you got to assume the coverage is going to be there to secure the tackle afterwards. So you'll have another set of downs. Put the pressure on the Lynx to make a play here to extend their drive.
Well, on Twitter at NCN Sports, Tyler Schumacher representing the Lincoln High fans saying hashtag Go Lynx, keeping it simple. He's certainly hoping for something big here.
He's hoping to go for 7 or more yards right here.
1:53 to go.
Oh, that's just scary. 4 wide, 1 back.
Case rolling out. He's going to have to throw it. Chucks it downfield. It's intercepted. Ben Riley.
You're going to say Wiley was actually out of bounds, but he did catch the ball. You're completely right, Brandon. GI getting the ball back. Nevertheless, turnover on downs.
Another look at it here. Case airing it out. And yep, Riley out of play. And I think he's actually a little bit shaken up. They're having the training staff look at him on the sidelines, but a minute 45. Lincoln High still has 2 timeouts. You're going to be forced to make a play on 3rd down. If you pick up a 1st down, it's for sure over. But if you play this right and you're Lincoln High, you could have a little bit of time left.
Right. You got to assume GI is going to run the ball 3 times right in a row here. And if you're a GI back, you're thinking ball security. There is no room for error here. You cannot put the ball on the turf.
There's Evans, lowers the shoulder, gets a couple. And there's that instant timeout by the Lynx.
You saw Cole Evans put 2 hands on the ball long before he met any defenders. Smart play once again for the young man, Evans. If you're on the other side thing, you know Lincoln High, they've already done it, being very opportunistic, getting their hands on the ball, the other defenders rallying to the ball, being around the ball. So we know the defense is capable of getting some takeaways. You know that's what they're thinking right now.
And the away fans here feeling pretty good. Cheering for their players. It's not over just yet, but the odds are definitely stacked against Lincoln High.
Yeah, the Lynx are going to have to pick up some serious breaks here, but we've seen crazier things happen before. GI has to stay very disciplined here to pull this one off on the road.
Hand off to Riley up the middle. Gets a couple more. And there is the Lynx' last timeout. Just looking ahead, too, regardless of the outcome, it's really been a murderer's row for Lincoln High, and they knew that this schedule was not going to be fun to start this season. They went on the road to Bellevue West, who's now number 3. They have number 8 Grand Island. And then they get to go to Creighton Prep next Friday. They're number 2. They just defeated Omaha North last week. And then they travel to Pius, which is another good team in Class A. Gets a little bit easier down the line after this first half of the season, but Coach Mackey said, this is really going to be a test, and
right.
we literally could come out of our first 4 games 0-4, but we're going to be so well prepared for the playoffs. You take care of that second half of the season,
right.
and you make it into the playoffs, and you're ready to go. You're battle-tested.
And now the good teams, the well-coached teams, like I believe Lincoln High is, you get better throughout the season. And this is actually real good reps here early on against some elite competition. It does set up things well for later on down the road throughout a long season.
Third and 7. And Riley, no gain. So Lincoln High should or may get the ball back with a little bit of time.
Defense held, did what they needed to do. Called a couple quick timeouts there.
I think the Islanders are going to let this run down, and then they'll take a timeout.
Take a penalty, even punt it.
Coach Tomlin standing right next to the line judge.
Yeah, they really want to salt away as much time as they possibly can here.
And there's the timeout, so 50 seconds on the clock. What do you do, Andy? You're Coach Tomlin.
Well, you got the ball in the 26. You know you got a kicker that's more than capable of knocking the field goal in from this distance. But I wouldn't want to put it up for risk for a block field goal or some type of big play like that. You've had some blunders on special teams. I'm thinking you just roll Cole Evans out and tell him, I don't care if you do have the first down. You're gonna do that rugby style punt. You're gonna try and put it in Coffin's corner. If they do come out to the 20-yard line, so be it. But punt the ball, pin them deep. Once again, make things hard on the Lynx.
Evans in the gun, Riley next to him. And going for it all, no one is covering. The receiver, Sykes, And the Islanders put the nail in the coffin from 26 yards out. Wow.
What a call from Coach Tomlin, going for it all there, like you said, putting the nail in the coffin. And I love the fact that he went to Sykes. Sykes had a couple fumbles early on in the game, going right back to the young man, building back his confidence, really coming up with a big play there. Nobody saw that coming on 4th and 6.
And that is the benefit of having your quarterback as your punter. They thought that he was just going to do that little rugby-style pooch punt. Instead, he just launches it, and there you go. That's ball game.
Well, I know that's what I thought he was going to do. Coach Tomlin had something else in mind. A little bit of a John Wayne mentality there, shutting the door, slamming the door emphatically on any idea the Lynx could come back in this one. And that's how you win a ball game on the road.
45 seconds left, but Lynx with no chance now. And what a ball game, a well-attended game, a packed Beechner Athletic Complex. Both sides played neck and neck, and this is the first point in any part of the game where it's been more than a one-possession ball game.
Right, and that's where you could look at the score and you think, oh, Grand Island had control the whole way there, a couple scores up. That wasn't the case at all. It was a tight one throughout. What a play call. I can't get over that.
That was the last thing on my mind that I thought was going to happen, just like pretty much everybody else here.
Well, you're thinking you want to run the ball, you want to bleed time. You definitely don't want to put the ball in the air there.
And you can feel the air clearly taken out of the sails of the Lynx at this point.
Yep.
But they gave it their all. They've now played 2 just emotionally and physically taxing games. And something else that Coach Mackey said about his team is, you know, we have better numbers than we've had in a long time, but we still don't quite have that 80, 90 to 100-man roster that you see from these bigger programs.
Right.
And you have guys playing a lot more both ways, and you see it sort of weigh on the players as the game wears on. You get wore down a little bit easier.
You know, I came from 8-man football, so I always looked at these Class A schools with envy thinking, oh, that would be so nice to be able to play one way, just focus on being a running back or focus on being a linebacker. But then you look at Lincoln High here, so many of those kids playing both ways throughout the entirety of this game. It doesn't look like a true Class A sideline. That's a really good point you bring up there, Brandon.
And still, though, when you look at how much this program has grown, there's a lot of pride that this group of seniors has instilled in Lincoln High. And like I said, just because they lost their first 2 games, they have every intention of making the playoffs and making a deep playoff run.
Oh, they're more than capable of doing so. These guys have all played together. A lot of the skill position guys have been together since their sophomore year here at Lincoln High, but they've been doing pee-wees, those 7-on-7s every summer together. A lot of continuity, especially on the offensive side for Lincoln High.
Late flag here. Won't have any impact on the outcome of this one.
Get an unsportsman conduct. Might have been on Ben Riley there.
And this will pretty much wrap things up here. He's chucking it out.
How about the upper body strength of Case? Backpedaling, defender bearing down on him, and he still has the strength to chuck the ball up the field for the completion.
Well, that does it here at Beechner Athletic Complex. The Islanders take down number 7 Lincoln High to improve to 2-0. Your final score, 42-27.
And I said it last week about GI. That was a statement game, knocking off your rival Kearney, pitching a shutout. followed up by another statement game. Going on the road, knocking off a top 10 opponent, a very talented opponent in Lincoln High here this evening.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to hear from Coach Tomlin as well as our player of the game. We have a lot to discuss as well as our top plays, all coming up in our post-game show. It is brought to you by Cornhusker Toyota. 42-27 your final. We'll be back. And welcome back here to Beechner Athletic Complex. Grand Island takes down number 7 Lincoln High 42-27. With me is our Dream It, Do It player of the game, Caleb Francel. 93 yards, 3 touchdowns. Caleb, let's just walk through what was working for you. You're playing a very good team, your second-ranked opponent in as many weeks, and you came up very big for the Islanders.
Well, most of it was our offensive line, and our Coach Tomlin preached our factor. When something goes wrong like in Vent, we respond automatically, and that's what we did the whole night. So that's pretty much what happened all night. So that's what the line did, and there's holes open up everywhere for me. So yeah.
Well, and what was your mindset, too? Because this game had a lot of ups and downs in terms of the turnovers and some of the things that went wrong for you guys. Was it ever a moment where you said, all right, I'm going to get this carry and I plan on doing something big, or was it just part of the process where it allowed you to be successful?
I mean, yeah, it's just all part of the process, you know, like going back to the event equals response. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was all night long.
And a part of this running back committee, it very much seems like a team effort. There's 3, maybe 4 guys who are getting carries at any given time. How do you enjoy being a part of this committee and this running back approach for GI?
It's really fun because, you know, we just rotate all 3 of us, me, Timo, and Riley, and we all get a ton of carries, and we just piggyback off of each other, and it just works really nice.
What else is pretty nice is that you guys have now defeated the number 4 Kearney and now number 7 Lincoln High. How are you feeling? So pretty much about as good a start as you could have had for the first 2 weeks of the season.
Feeling pretty good, but we got to look towards the next game, and we got to just prepare.
Spoken like a true professional. Congrats, Caleb Francel, on the great performance.
Thank you.
That is Caleb Francel, again, 93 yards, 3 touchdowns. Grand Island defeats Lincoln High 42-27. He is our Dream It, Do It player of the game. Don't go anywhere. We'll hear from Coach Tomlin shortly on News Channel Nebraska. And welcome back here to Beechner Athletic Complex. Grand Island defeats Lincoln High 42-27. Joining us for the Roe Buick Roe Chevy coach's interview is Jeff Tomlin. And Coach, from a coaching perspective, I think the bad news is it maybe wasn't as pretty as you would have hoped. The good news is you took down another ranked opponent and you came out of here with a victory over Lincoln High. So what is your initial just reactions to it all?
I'm proud of our kids' effort. You know, obviously, like I told them after the game, it wasn't pretty. We didn't execute really well. We weren't real sharp. But you know, our heart was big, and I think we responded to adversity. You know, had a couple guys banged up during the game, and guys stepped up, and so that's gratifying to see. And so I'm very proud of our kids, and their effort was outstanding. We made plays when we had to against a very, very good team, a well-coached team.
And something I think defensively, it seemed like you almost forced Lincoln High to get away from the pass as much as they like, and it was more of a balanced attack. What was that like, trying to defend something where maybe you expected them to throw a little bit more?
They're really hard to defend. I mean, they've got their RPO game, so they can run it or pass it. And based on reads, quarterback's a fantastic player, and they hurt us on some sweep. Running back's an excellent player, but I felt like our secondary rose to the occasion. And we tackled better fourth quarter. You know, we were a little sloppy there in the third, but tackled better in the fourth. And then our offensive line was able to take over in that fourth.
Well, and speaking of fourth quarter and one of the last plays in the fourth, it was what we were calling basically the nail in the coffin on that fourth down throw. Who gets credit for calling that play, and what was the thought process behind that one?
Well, that's all Coach Harvey. You know, Russ Harvey's our offensive coordinator, and then our offensive staff, and they do an unbelievable job. But I think the rationale was, you know, might as well take a shot at it. They're going to get the ball there. We have them relatively pinned deep, and so, but if we hit it, it's lights out. If we don't, we still got a chance. You know, we still got a chance to defend them, and we're pretty confident in our D right there. So definitely a great call by Coach Harvey.
Well, lastly, Caleb Francil was our player of the game, found the end zone 3 times, rushed for nearly 100 yards. He's a part of that running back by committee, but he certainly was the one who shone tonight. What can you say about his performance?
You know, Caleb played really well, and we rely on him a bunch on defense. You know, he's a stalwart on defense for us, and all our running backs ran super hard. Caleb's just he's a slasher, and he'll make yards after contact, and that's what he does really, really well. And he's got a great nose for the end zone and super football player.
Coach, thank you for the time. Congrats on another big win. Best of luck moving forward.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach Tomlin getting the victory for Grand Island, 42-27 over Lincoln High. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back and wrap this one up with the rest of our post-game show on News Channel Nebraska. And welcome back here, wrapping things up from Beechler Athletic Complex. Glad that you're with us here for our post-game show, brought to you by Cornhusker Toyota Honda, Nebraska's only dual Toyota Honda dealer. There's no need to drive to Lincoln or Omaha when shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle. Check them out in Grand Island. And we're going to take a look at our top plays of the game here in this top 10 matchup. Number 8 against number 7, Grand Island taking on Lincoln High in your top plays of the game, and this was a game that lived up to the hype. The Lynx looking for their first win of the season after taking Bellevue West all the way to double overtime in the opening week of the season. But it was Grand Island who got the scoring started off first. Cole Evans finds Brock Douglas for a 5-yard score in the first quarter. 7-0 Islanders on top. But this was after a muffed punt and Lincoln High taking full advantage. Cedric Case finding his buddy Jaden Horton in the end zone, tying things up 7-7 still in the first quarter. It would be 14-7 Grand Island leading after the first quarter, but this would tie things back up with Mr. Isaiah Alford. Now, he ran for 157 yards. There's 19 in a TD. We're tied at 14 with 1:41 left to go in halftime, which would be your score at the halftime break, but less than a minute into the third quarter, and we have a 69-yard touchdown strike. Cole Evans connecting with Ben Riley. The Islanders back up 21-14 very early in the third at this point. But this was a boxing match. It was punch, counter punch. And here would be a big play for Lincoln High. Great defense. One of many turnovers forced. It would turn into a scoop and score for Jadis Ellis. And just like that, it's 21-20. That's because the Lynx would miss the extra point. But this guy right here, he was our Dream It, Do It player of the game. And there's a big reason why. Caleb Francil found the end zone there, putting Grand Island up 28-27. He rushed for 93 yards and 3 scores. Here's his second touchdown as well. Francil making a big play. That one from 3 yards out made it 35-27. Lincoln High trying to get back into it on 4th down late in the ball game, and the defensive backs come up big. That was Mr. Ben Riley taking that one out of the end zone, but the nail would be put in the coffin. Grand Island would get a late score on 4th and 6 on a 36-yard strike to Timo Sykes. 42-27 is your final. Grand Island improves to 2-0. I'm Brandon Axelman. Those are your top plays. Well, Andy, certainly a lot to feel good about for Grand Island. And again, the same for Lincoln High. You've played 2 very tough teams. You've played very well, and you're going to improve on this moving forward. But a special thanks to Coach Tomlin for talking with us as a part of our Roe Buick and Roe Chevy coaches interview. Proud to recognize all of the outstanding area athletes who play with pride. You can visit rowcars.com and listen to Tomlin and listen to what he says.
Yeah.
He's always a guy that's thinking ahead, even after the Kearney game. Well, we're excited now, but it's on to the next one. And it's the exact same thing here for Grand Island. They'll enjoy this tonight, have a good bus ride home, 2 GI down I-80, and then we're preparing for week number 3.
Right, another ranked opponent, another win notched in the belt there for Grand Island. And on the other side, the Lynx losing another close game to a ranked opponent early on. And you've heard me say this before, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Grand Island sitting at 2-0. Tomlin's already thinking about the next game. He knows they can't let it get out of hand or feel too good about these early wins. But the fan base, the kids, they can feel really good about it tonight because this was a hard-fought road win against a very talented Lincoln High squad.
And, of course, Caleb Francil, 93 yards, 3 touchdowns, our Dream It, Do It player of the game. Let your skills pay the bills. Check them out at dreamitdoit.com. Well, special thanks to everybody Helping make this broadcast possible, Pat Getzmeyer, the AD here at Lincoln High. We also talked to Mark Larson, the principal. Of course, our terrific camera crew, Tyler Bersofsky in the truck. For Andy Klassen, I'm Brandon Axmit. We have much more sports coming up next week. Just check us out on ncnsportsnow.com for the schedule. We're signing off here from Lincoln.